Well, that's pathetic. Everything about that is pathetic. The late start, the brutal power play, no effort, no intensity, no response. This is pathetic from every single person involved. I guess the GM for icing the guys and putting the guys together that he did, the coach for deploying them the way he is and the systems out there, the power play, the coach for hiring the guys, I guess, to run the systems, the power play, the star players that you have out there who just choose not to show up sometimes, to show up some other times. It's pathetic. It's pathetic from this group. It is fucking utterly pathetic from these guys night in and night out to just... I was going to say show up like this, but they didn't even show up. Like, there is no intensity, no engagement, nothing. This seems like a group that does not care about each other, about winning, about performing, about the coach, nothing. These guys do not give a fuck right now. Like, obviously you have a level of care to get to the point that you're at, to stay at this point and be an NHL player and be here every single day, but there is no pride. And honestly, like, at this point, you know, we've said it before where it's like these guys care about the names on the back, not the names on the front. I'm beginning to doubt if they even give a fuck about the names on the back. It's so embarrassing what they are doing every single night. Every time they go on the ice, it's like they have no pride in their own fucking names at this point. It's not even about the crest and playing for each other. It's not even about that. And we're wondering about if they care about the guy next to them and do you want to go to war for that guy and will you do what it takes? We're beyond that. We are beyond that. I'm wondering at this point if these guys even have any pride in their own fucking names, their own fucking games, about their own contracts, their own salaries, anything that's going on. Like, these guys all just go out there like it's a Sunday fucking skate. There are guys that I play in men's league who are working harder and care more than that shit that we see out there. Oh, lost the puck, turn it over, last guy back in the zone, play up the wall, oh, didn't get it out, doesn't... What in the fuck are you doing? How do you have that little awareness, that little effort, that little care? There is nothing from these guys every single night. Like, there's part of me that is like, fire the coach to get the new guy in there and see if you can get something, because these guys are playing like they want to get the coach fired. You know, it just so happened that at the end of the game against Chicago, A, they're not that good of a team, and B, you've got enough talent in the lineup to be able to go out there and turn that thing around. And then but it's also like, if you fire the coach, like, you're just letting them off the hook. And I'm not saying you're not allowed to have the coach fired. The Edmonton Oilers have gone through more coaches in their time span than the Toronto Maple Leafs have. But, like, you're just letting these guys off the hook. They get whatever they want. They always have. That's the thing that's frustrating to me. Anything they want, they get it, and they just never pay you back. The Edmonton Oilers at least won playoff rounds, went to the Stanley Cup final twice in a row. So when Connor McDavid comes to you, Leon Draisaitl, and they say, I want this, I want that, you might grit down and say, I don't want to, but okay, you know what? Sure, you took us to 2 cup finals. You're the best fucking players in the world. We'll do that. These guys at this point are like, we want this, we want this, we want the money, we want the no trades, we want all this. And it's like, oh yeah, and first round exit every year. Oh yeah, and then if it doesn't go our way, we're just not going to try. We're just going to stop trying. I can't believe it. I cannot believe how much these guys just fucking quit on each other, the team, the organization, the fans, all of it. This is a complete quit job by these guys. I got more to say, I got more to get into, but there's a guy sitting by right now who I can't wait to get his thoughts on this game tonight. I can't wait to get his thoughts on the fucking TV industry that won't let him watch games either, as badly as he wants to watch these shit show Leafs games right now. But let's welcome to the program here for game, 33 of the season, Jay Rosehill. Rosie, how's it going, buddy?
For game, who gives a shit? That's
no
the
kidding.
worst game I've ever seen in the NHL from the standpoint of watching a give a fuck meter spread through the entire team. Like the absurdity of not even trying and just watching this go by you, and just like Boudreau said on our show this morning, like finally everyone's saying it, guys that come on the show, guests, now the panel, they have reason to like that be the last resort, actually calling out the effort.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you can't hide behind anything after displaying that on ice for everyone to see. You're not even fucking trying. And like, that's just so silly to even say, but that was the most pathetic effort I've seen. And I completely agree and think that how else do you say it except that they're quitting on their coach? They're sending a message like, we're not going to play for this guy. But my question is, how bad can he be? I've played for him. I've played for coaches where the whole team hates the guy. Mm-hmm. He's negative. He belittles guys. He's chucking shit. He's sarcastic. He throws jabs. He's the worst coach, and the season's terrible, and everything's negative, and the guys still will like kind of give their best effort, like to a degree. And I've played for Craig Berube. He's none of those things. He's so straightforward. He's honest. He's not crazy negative. He's not flipping tables and screaming in guys' faces. He just says, we got to show up and we got to do the right things and we got to work hard and we got to simplify our game. It's not a big fucking circus out there. We got to stay north-south and make our meat when we get into the ozone. You guys are skilled enough. You can do whatever the fuck you want in there. But here's how we're going to get a lot of ozone time, and it takes a little bit of effort. And just plummeting in that department. I can't believe it. And I think these next 24 hours are going to, like, something's got to happen here. And it's probably going to be Craig Berube fired. I think it's a fucking disgrace. I've been around when coaches are fired. When Ron Wilson was fired, the GM comes in and says, you guys should feel like garbage. A good man's losing his job, and it's because of your guys' play out there on the ice. And that and this is that, and then some. Like, you aren't even I don't care if you're a fucking all-star team or you're the Russian Red Army or you're just absolute Team Canada or USA stacked to the gills. You will lose every fucking game you play if that's your effort. Like you said, it's not even a joke. It's not even funny. There's beer leaguers that are going after the puck fucking harder than the Toronto Maple Leafs were tonight. And I don't even know what to say about it at this point.
I mean, like, I said it kind of as a joke, but I'm dead serious. Like, I play last night, or we're winning 6-5. We have a guy going down the ice to shoot into an empty netter, and there's guys, like, laying out face first. I'm like, you're a psycho. And then I watch this team here tonight, and it's like, you turn the puck over at your own blue line, and they're like, loop-de-loop, turn back. Like, holy fucking shit, Like, and I see people in the chat, and this is where the disconnect, I think, is happening for a lot of people right now in the market, too, is like, there's, Jimmy 2 times who's saying, Rosie, you don't know. You played for him before he won a cup. It went to his head. Or he's not a hockey mind and he's not a good coach. First of all, I've heard numerous people come on your show, on other shows around Toronto. I've heard other people that have played for him, that have worked with him, have worked under him, whatever, all say he's a great coach. He's a really good this. He's really good that. He's a really good motivator, everything. So there's people in the game, people who have been around him who have said all these positive things. Again, Rosie, you played in the league. I didn't. And you played for him, so you at least know. But I'm going to take the perspectives of the people who know him personally and know all these things, who say these things about him. So I'll leave it at that. But like, the coaching issue gets lost because, you know what? Maybe some of the things he does aren't perfect. That's fine. You and I could both agree on that. Maybe there's things that he's asking them to do strategically, and I'm not going to dig into them, but strategically that just like don't work. That's fine. We can agree on shit like that. But like watching guys overskate pucks and then stand up straight and not do stops and starts back. Watching guys avoid getting in the lane of a puck coming from the point. Watching guys half-ass it to the bench on a change that leads Jacob Chychrun to walk in alone and rip it tit, and then have guys just standing around being like, you got him. I don't got. That shit is not X's and O's. It's not systems. It's not strategy. And unfortunately as well, it's not like a Brad Treliving issue of like you brought these guys in here, because the guys who are leading this right now, Austin Matthews, William Nylander, Bobby McMann, who was here before, Morgan Riley, like you look up and down and it's these kinds of guys that you're looking at going, how in the flying fuck can you put forth that little of an effort and then just expect things to be okay? So I again, like we can say all the shit we want about Berube's X's and O's. These people are not in the room with them, so it's not like they know. And I'm going to guess, Rosie, I don't know, you tell me if you think I'm off or this is too harsh, but most of them probably aren't NHL coaches, unless fucking Paul Maurice is hiding in my chat right now under an alias to tell me how much of an idiot Berube is. So everyone can fucking take a step back. Again, my issue is more so when it comes to these guys give a fuck meters that it seems is cranking on an all-time low right now.
Like, trust me, no matter what you think of Berube, he is not doing anything remotely close to justifying that kind of a shutdown by the entire team. But that's all I can come up with is they're like, we just need to change. We're tired of the same voice. And maybe they're all a bunch of prima donnas and spoiled little shits that just get what they want. They always have. But like, you cannot deny the fact. Did you see how much time and space the Washington Capitals had all over their zone tonight? All over the house in the dangerous areas.
Yeah.
Like they'd stand in the high slot and they were like, holy shit. Like I thought I was going to have to get rid of this really fast. And they don't. And they're like, shit, I guess I'll load it up and rip one from right here. And no one's around. And they're just, the closest guys just kind of standing there and might kind of reach last minute. Like, what are we doing? I don't like, and like they're even saying on the panel, like, would anybody want to step up and have some pride and do something? Like when a team was down a lot in the past, it would oftentimes turn into a gong show, right? Because you'd start to be pissed off and you'd start running around and taking some liberties and burying guys and snowing a goalie, and someone doesn't like it, there'd be a scrap or two. Like those guys on that team, not one guy, it didn't even cross any of their minds to go and fucking run someone or to try to ignite some life in any other way other than scoring the goal. Like zero emotion, zero competitiveness, zero pulse, heart, like pride. How can it be that bad? Like I've torched the team before, but it's always been with this caveat of, but it's right there. Like there's no excuse for that. And that's why we were so hard on them after that Chicago game, because they played like that and they got this miraculous comeback with the last fucking 8 minutes where they get given these gifts, especially that last one, which just doesn't normally happen. But everyone that has anything to do with hockey is like, yo, that was ugly. Like the score is a complete fluke. You cannot play like that ever. And then they come in the next night to a hungry team and they fucking play even worse. And this isn't like they couldn't thread the passes, they couldn't help, they didn't even bother to see what they had tonight. Like I've never seen anything like it at the NHL level. Like you said, those guys obviously have the compete level in them. They've gotten to that league. But what were you, like, I cannot help but think of anything other than they've just quit on the coach. But that does not make sense to me, and I think it's complete horse shit.
The thing that's confusing to me too is, how do you look around the room, see the way that you played hockey? How do you look at what you did last season, the success you had against the Senators, getting to 7 games against the Florida Panthers that end up going on and winning the Stanley Cup, and seeing it all being done under Berube and this coaching staff. Obviously there was like, Lane Lambert leaves for Seattle. Okay, that aspect of it changed, but like same defense pretty much, same goaltenders, same forward group for the most part. You just upgraded your bottom six. You obviously lost a piece. You're still trying to change, but you're pretty much the same group. How do you look at that and then be like, nah, I don't want to do this. I don't think this is for me. Like if that's where your conclusion is, or what your conclusion is that you come to, like you are just not a winner. You are not a winner. I'm sorry. Like there are guys, Rosie, I'm sure you played with these people. I'm sure the people in the chat played with these people. Maybe there are some of those people in the chat right now, but you go through and they're just really good at what they do, but they don't care that much. And like obviously these guys cared enough to get it to the point of getting to the NHL, but just, do they want to win a Stanley Cup that bad, or do they want to, be an NHL player? Because there's a difference. You could be an NHL player and be really good at what you do, and you could be a guy who's willing to eat pucks and go above and beyond to do what it takes to win a Stanley Cup and buy in. And I mean, again, sorry to be long-winded before I throw back to you, but like I think about what TJ Oshie said. It was like, it's Craig Berube who was here for 1 year, mind you. It's not like this guy's been here for 2 or 3 wearing out this message, but he's been here for 1 year. TJ Oshie talked about it. He said that one day they got reamed out by Barry Trotz, I think it was that he said, and him and the leadership group looked around at each other and were like, well, fuck, I guess we might as well do this. Like, I guess we might as well buy in. And then they won a fucking Stanley Cup. Like, sometimes, and I'm sure people in Washington were looking at it being like Barry Trotz has gone too far the other way from what Washington was doing. Sometimes you just gotta fucking believe and buy in. And just saying, hey, I'm not playing the way I want to play, so I'm not going to do this, that's fucking pathetic.
Well, that's the thing, dude, is like, I have no problems with tree living. I don't think, unless they are just turning it off and waiting for a new coach, and then they'll turn it back on and try, like, which would be infuriating, giving your season away by doing that, if that is the case. I still can't even wrap my head around that being the case. But how else do you justify the fucking effort that we just saw from the opening draw to the final horn from just about every player on that team? I've never seen anything like it. But I'm telling you that this isn't tree living. That team, if they wanted to be, and if they wanted to play the right way and buy in the way that winning teams buy in, do you not think that every guy that got to Florida and realized what was going on in there, it wasn't this whole like, holy shit, they're doing something special here, I'm just going to buy into it. Like Seth Jones got there and it was like, it took me like a week of hounding and pounding into his head through video and whiteboard and practice. This is how we do things. Mm-hmm. And like, it doesn't work if there's not a 100% commitment. And that team has back-to-back fucking Stanley Cups. Do you not think John Cooper's team were doing things a certain way that just, it doesn't even matter. Teams have won Stanley Cups being all-out offensive, being trap teams. They've done it on the backs of this style and that style of hockey. The main key is having everyone buy in. And this team, it could be good. It's got a lot of pieces. If this team, if you were just had the ability to just turn it up to fucking 9.5 every night and 10 on a big one, this team would just be a wagon. They have so many fucking pieces in place. And then you watch that and you're like, how is there any other finger pointing happening? How is there any talk about a system or a coach or a general fucking manager? You could bitch the general manager has this team of a bunch of players with no character or heart or balls. But again, he didn't design this team from the ground up. I think firing the GM, what the hell do you think someone else is going to do there if you get a bunch of new guys? Like, if they're going to play like that, there's nothing saving them. Like you say, like an American Hockey League team would beat that team when their effort level is that high. It was just pathetic to watch. And I mean, I don't know where they go from here. And how do they get to this point? I can't help but notice that the guys I've always frigging been frustrated with for giving an effort sometimes and not, and being inconsistent with what they show up with, is the stars on this fucking team. And now it is trickled down to the Bobby McMahons of the fucking world, where you're just standing and watching a guy just go by, like, not even wave your stick in, like, don't even try to hide it or try to like pretend like you're working hard, just not even bothering. Like, it was like they just had no shame. I'm still like trying to process what we just watched, because it was example after example after example of a guy just flat out not giving a fuck. And it's been hard. You tiptoe when you say that, and there's a reason they don't say it on the panel, and certain guests are hesitant to say, and we've done our fair share of torchings, but you don't want to become that show or program that just tortures them no matter what. Like, you ride with them and, you know, give them their props when they show up. But like, that's back-to-back nights of some of the worst effort I've ever seen. And I've really rarely ever seen that in the NHL, I have to admit. And I'm sickened that it's a team that we follow and have this passion for, that we have to fucking watch this and move forward, like trying to have some semblance of give a shit when they themselves don't appear to even have any.
Yeah, it's a good point too. Like, you brought up Bobby McMann, and I don't think you're trying to single him out in particular, and I'm not going to try to do this either as I expand on it, but it's a good point. Like, you bring up a guy who's a depth piece, and now all of a sudden you see him doing some of those things where it's like the lazier play, the straight-legged play, not paying attention to something, not finishing a check. And it's not just him. Again, it's just a guy that is used. Exactly, you know.
Nick Waugh, you're 6'5", 220 pounds. Do you ever think of just fucking running someone? Did it never cross your mind? Is that fun on the bench? Was that fun on the fucking flight over there? Was that fun at practice? Is that fun at the meetings? Is that fun at the video sessions? It's fucking awful losing in the NHL. It doesn't even cross your mind to go fucking run somebody and just show that you care enough to just try to do anything. No, I don't want to do that. What if I hurt my shoulder? Or what if the guy got hurt? Or what if someone came after me? Like, I have no fucking idea what's going on in the minds of those players. I've never seen anything like this, man. And like, nobody, I have nothing else to say. Nobody can justify that. Nobody can come up with a reason other than those guys didn't bother to play hockey tonight. And wearing that jersey in that league, that's just unconscionable.
Yeah, like the one thing too that's nuts, and you know, we could look at these guys, and I mean, like 6 1/3 in the chat does it every single show where I'll just jerk them off like crazy because they put up points, and it's like, you can't criticize their effort because they have points. Well, here's the one thing that I will say as a counterpoint to all of that, and to your point about what you see out of these guys in the bottom. You know, I can't remember who the player was. I wish I could. Maybe Kirby is in the chat, the Cats and Rats podcast. He'll point it out if he knows. But there was a guy last year after the first year the Florida Panthers won the Cup. He said that when he got to Florida in camp in a preseason game, it might have been Nate Schmidt, he made a no-look pass up the middle. It turned over. They didn't end up scoring on it, whoever it was that they were playing against. He comes to the bench, and the big guys on Florida, it was like Barkov and Bennett and Kachuk, like the big boys for that team, kind of all came up to him, Reinhart, and they were like, we don't do that here. Like, you do not do that here. You don't make those plays. You don't make those stupid plays. You make the smart play. You get the puck out of the zone. Like, you do the right things in these situations. And then they went on and won Stanley Cup. And Nate Schmidt got to hold the cup over his head, and he's got a ring on his finger. But I think about that a lot when it comes to this team, because who are the prime culprits for, like, the no-look giveaway and like the chip at the blue line that doesn't get out, or the toe drag at the opposing team's blue line, or like last game against Chicago, the feather pass across on the zone entry? Like, these moments I look at and I'm like, it's your leaders, quote unquote, that are doing these things. Like, no shit. When you look down the lineup, McMann and Waugh and Lawrence and Domi and all the way down the fucking list to the guys sitting in the fucking press box, they follow along with that because the big boys do it and they don't suffer consequences. So it just trickles down. Everybody deals with the same shit. I like, it's not even like a point for you to build off of. I'm just kind of just spewing about that, but it's just, I see them make these stupid, soft, shitty plays that are not NHL plays, and like, they just, there's no like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have done that, let me get back. It's not in them. They don't have that.
That's always been their Achilles heel. Like, it'll be game 5 in the fucking second round to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's a game where you're trying not to blow a 2-game lead, and you're doing no look backhand sauces up the middle where other teams will not fucking accept that shit in preseason. And that's a great point, because that is the difference. And we've wondered about it, and it's why they made the change with Marner. They have a whole bunch of fancy, soft, not gritty, not going to get their, hands dirty type of guys. And you built the team around them, and they all have no moves, and they all make 13, 12, 11 million bucks. And they're the one leading the charge, and they show up sometimes and other times don't. They don't play with any passion. They don't seem to have any pride. It's a fucking theme in Toronto, as much as no one wants to say it, because you don't want to torch the team, and you have passion, you care, and you want to give them a chance. And, Shanny gets canned, and you're like, was it Shanny or not? He did hold on to these types of guys, but, he knew that it took time to win. He had to win on his 10th year, and Yzerman was his 13th year. And he's like, I got to give these guys time. But everything we watch and all those disgusting playoff performances, you're like, dude, do they just think they're going to go do that again and it's going to work next year? And they do, and it doesn't. And now to watch that, which was probably the grossest game I've ever watched the Toronto Maple Leafs do when I'm doing this media stuff. That's the grossest game I've ever seen, because it wasn't just turnovers. It wasn't trying to thread the pass that was a low percentage play. It was just I'm not even bothering. I'm just not even going to bother to do anything that needs to be done. A 50-50 puck, no. A puck battle, no. A back check, no. Jump on a guy and ride him wide, no. Jump on the guy where it just got it in the fucking high slot, no. I'm not going to do any of that. Just come to the bench hard so your teammate can get back out there quick. No, not going to do that. Not going to do any of it. It's comical how pathetic that was. I want to go watch every single fucking interview and hear the bullshit that comes out of their mouth, because I don't know how they can go out there and pull that and think that the whole bloody hockey world isn't just disgusted with you right now. That organization deserves better. The fans deserve better. Craig Berube deserves better. Mm-hmm. Everyone involved with any level of give a shit for that organization deserves better. And the guys that get to put on the fucking sweater just put up an effort like that. It's fucking upsetting, man. This is a low point in this fucking tenure of this era.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said, Rosie. It's very frustrating. Make sure to subscribe here, as my camera does some whack shit right there. Leaf Station 401 right here on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Rosie, as I get you out of here, I'm gonna give you some quotes, some of the first quotes that have come out from the post game. Okay, 2 different ones here on your way out, and I just want to know your thoughts. Instant reaction. So David Alter tweets these out. Craig Berube on what made the Capitals a big challenge for them tonight. Quote, 1 word, ourselves. Yeah. Here's the other one, and I'll let you go off of this, but I'll read this one to you as well. Berube says, it looked to me like they had way more urgency in their game, more passion in their game. That's the difference. Then a follow-up question, How do you explain that given where you are in the standings? And to which Berube replied, ask those guys, not me.
Good. That's what should be fucking said. That's why I said I want to go listen, because someone ought to tell the truth and be honest. You can't hide. People that watch hockey, everyone's not stupid. We just watch it with our own eyes. That's what he should have said. You beat yourselves. You didn't even fucking show up. You could have been playing any team in the league tonight. Any team in the league with any streak one way or the other, with any amount of injuries, with any goaltender in net, and that would have been the result with what you fucking showed up with today. And then to say, ask those guys, go for he's cutting himself clean from the team. I completely am on board with Craig Berube, and he might get fired, and that might be I don't even know. But he has distanced himself from that. He just saw the same thing we did, saying, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
They lost this game. Why would they come out like this? Being where they're at in the standings, how could they possibly afford to play with no urgency, no pulse, no heartbeat, no effort, no every little thing you can come up with. It all makes sense. It all sounds the same and it all works. Ask them. Go into that room and ask those fucking guys. I'm doing everything I can to motivate this team. I'm doing everything I can to set this team up for success based on their history and what they've done. And Craig Berube has come in here and done nothing fucking wrong. Like you said, took the Florida Panthers the distance, win the division. Like, you're telling me that what we just watched is on Craig Berube? Give me a fucking break. You could have had prime time Scotty Bowman back there. Nothing happens if that's their effort level. Systems, you kidding me? Fucking none of that matters, dude. That was I hope they get torched by every fucking media outlet. I hope everyone fucking turns their back on them. They feel fucking stupid because they shouldn't get rewarded for it. They shouldn't go get a new coach that maybe I want to try a different coach and see what happens when the different coach. They already did this with Babcock. And then they brought in fucking Keefe. Then there's no accountability and then they don't go fucking anywhere because they don't play with any jam. Let's get someone that'll hold them accountable and fucking be a little bit gruff and say, hey, you got to play this way. I demand it. Nope, still, okay, then we won't even try anyway. Then we're not even going to try at all. And then they'll see how you like that. And they just get embarrassed. I'm glad Berube said that, man. He's probably furious and rightfully so. That's got to be the most frustrating goddamn thing you could ever be a part of is what he's looking at and being and feeling right now.
Look, whether he makes it through tonight into tomorrow or not, whether this is his fault or not, there's part of me that just starts to feel really bad for the guy because, like, I genuinely watch it and feel like he has done everything he can. We can say whatever you want about the X's and O's, which it seems like we have like the greatest coaches in the history of hockey in the chat here right now who are saying this is all on him, and that's where it's been pinpointed right now. But to me, it's just watching that effort or lack thereof is an infuriating thing that I just don't know how Berube is managing at this point to go day to day watching this and just being like, what am I supposed to do, Rosie? What am I supposed to do? 870 people watching right now. Quick note before Rosie leaves. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We're working on trying to get to 20,000 subscribers here on the channel. There is no reason we can't get that here tonight. As well for people, you get 50. We do the smelling salts, 100 likes, 150 likes, 200 likes, all that. We do the smelling salts here on the show. Rosie, before I let you go, any final words of wisdom, anything to leave the people with here tonight?
At least one thing is it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like, at least you're excited to see that. Like, what comes down the barrel now? Our head's going to roll. Our trigger's going to get pulled. I don't know what this team is going to do, but like from fucking Pelly, from Rogers to watch that and be like, our product just collectively gave a big fuck you to everyone in the organization, from the ownership to the managers to the coaches to the fans with that effort. Now, what the hell do you do with that? Again, I've never seen a game like that in that league. It is inexcusable. And the people thinking that it's Craig Berube has caused that, like, there is one bullseye, and it is on the players, the guys that play the game. They are the problem and nothing else, if you ask me. I just don't know what the hell they're going to do about it.
I don't know, Rosie. I don't know. It's pretty infuriating. Right now, it just feels like something has to change. Like, expecting this to work going forward, I think is a lost cause. Whether it's the GM, the coaches, the players in the room, I don't know. This just feels like a lost cause to go into Saturday, Sunday, Christmas, the New Year, and be like, no, the answer's in the room. Is it? Is the answer in the room? I don't know anymore. Rosie, I appreciate you taking the time to do this here tonight, though. Not a fun one, not one we want to be doing. I'd much rather come on here after a huge win and the team rolling the right way. But it's not the case here tonight. And another few days to get through here before we get to Saturday, Sunday, and some back-to-back action. That will certainly be a much better result when it comes to playing against the Dallas Stars, right, Rosie?
Yeah, show up with that effort again. You will lose every game of the season. Everyone will have a one-way ticket somewhere, but it won't be around here. I can't believe the spot that, like, can you imagine in that room right now, or probably getting on a plane, or the little meeting they're having when Tree comes downstairs and the doors close and the coaches are sitting there, like, how do you not flip a fucking table? And like, I've heard coaches' rooms go ballistic before, and I've never. It's not for any reason that's anything worse than what we just watched right there. And this is the Maple Leafs in the National League trying to dig and claw themselves back into a playoff spot and save this season and do something. And they have a lot of pieces in place to do it. And it's just all for nothing. Like, it wouldn't fucking matter who was here, who they got at the deadline, or who they traded, or Mitch Marner. Yeah, fucking Mitch Marner would be out there fucking blazing the trail, and everyone would get on board, right? Oh my God, that was the worst effort I've seen in that league. I'm embarrassed of it, but maybe it'll bring some real change. But again, I just don't think that firing Berube is going to do sweet FA, except for reward those guys for acting like absolute unprofessional, heartless fucking divas, man. I can't even believe the guys that were involved in it, like the guys I like a lot, and that usually I'm saying they're the one shining thing. It was top to bottom, man. Maybe OEL or fucking the kid Cowboy, but my God, this is a new low point. And I guess on one factor of like trying to look forward to something, like I can't wait to see what happens and what is said and what the lineup looks like and what the repercussions of that performance are.
Can I actually ask you, I'm going to force your appearance to be a little bit longer. I want to ask you one thing, because I could go on about this for the rest of the night and I could do it with the chat, and I know I'm keeping you a long time, so I'm sorry, but I think you're the only person who could answer this better than anybody who comes on here later, and there's going to be people who call in later and speculate this. I can already see it. Do you think there's any chance that these guys just don't like each other? And like, I'm not trying to throw that out there as like anything I know for fact, or like trying to be like like reading the tea leaves, or like some drama queen online being like, ooh, did you see unlike the post? Like, I'm genuinely asking, Rosie, like, you know, I watched Dennis Hildeby make 7 straight 10-bell saves, and like even the commentators, as you say, they're like, that's got to fire up the team. And it's just like deadpan looks on their faces. You know, you see guys block shots, and like the Washington Capitals, you could hear it through the TV broadcast, screaming and going nuts and banging the boards. Guys finish checks, they see it. And it's like, a Leafs player fights, unless you're like Lawton and Domi and like, I don't know, OEL, really, McCabe maybe, then everybody else is like sitting on the bench just watching, being like, oh, that's nice, and the other bench fucking going nuts and shit. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm almost like over analyzing the little things, to the point where I'm just wondering if these guys give a fuck about each other. Genuinely. Like, you've played, you've been in these rooms, you've seen it, you've seen teams who like each other, love each other, don't like each other, and it's not often anyways that even on the most successful teams everybody does love each other. But is there an element here, or do you think there could be an element here, is a better way to put it? Do you think there's an element here that these guys just don't like each other very much?
Well, it's an interesting thing to come up. I don't believe that they don't like each other, but I think that what I think might be more accurate and more of a possibility is that they're individual guys, and they kind of care about their own shit and their own brand and their own career, and they like each other fine, but not enough to like come together and love each other, you know? And when teams win, it's like, we were like a family, man. And you know what else? Like, I've been on teams where guys get along like crazy and are super tight. And I've been on teams where there's some bad eggs and some little clicks and some ruffled feathers. And this guy's always rubbing so-and-so the wrong way. And shit like that happens. I've seen it. It's way harder to win when you're not clicking. But when you're losing, that's when things start to kind of come off the rails, and people start to bitch and the negativity creeps in the room. So when you're winning fairly consistently, it's a lot easier to be buddies and be hooting and hollering and have a good time and feel like you can go out for a beer and, you know, hang out in the hotel and go out for dinner together and hang out on your off time. And these guys have done a lot of freaking winning. like if you look at the 82 game seasons going back fucking 10 years, there's a lot of winning happening, regular season winning. That's what they've been known for. They've had plenty of opportunity to come together and like just be a tight knit group. And obviously that hasn't happened. So it does lead you to, open the door of questioning for, do you guys get along? Do you care about the team? Do you guys kind of care about yourself a little bit more? Are you more of a singular type of athlete who's just kind of, I'm not saying they're like insanely selfish, but they just think of what do I got to do today and focus on me and my career and my contract and what's my trajectory here. And I'm going to try to, score a bunch of goals because then you win games and the team wins too. And that's a byproduct of it. But it's not like I'll do anything for the fucking team. I'll go through a wall for my boy beside me. I don't see any of that. I really don't. And what reason? You could speculate all day. I think it's got something to do with the character on the team, man. It's the character.
Honestly, that's fair. And I appreciate that answer. That's why I wanted to ask you before you left. I just thought about it. I saw some people saying they don't care or whatever, and I'm like, there was something I had thought about with watching the game tonight, and I wanted to get your opinion on it because you've been in the rooms. You've played at the highest level. You've seen guys on road trips and how they interact with each other and stuff. So I appreciate the input. I appreciate you answering that question and giving us as much time as you have here tonight, Rosie. You try to find a way to enjoy the rest of your night if you can. I thank you for coming on here.
I'm going to go online and see the torching that is happening right now, and I can't say that every bit of it isn't justified after that one, man. Tough one to do. Yeah. Good luck with the rest. Thanks for having me, and good luck, chat. I wonder how
it'll be
furious those guys are.
Oh,
I love it.
Man.
Thanks for having me. I like jumping on, but do your thing, and whatever's said, I can't say is not justified tonight, boys. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, Rosie. Appreciate it. There you go. Jay Rosehill jumping on to help break this down. Very generous with his time. I was only going to keep him for a short amount. And then at the end there, I was like, I got to ask one last thing because I know I was going to probably talk about it. I think people in the chat were going to bring that one up. I've opened up the call line. For those of you who are new here to the channel, by the way, Leafs Nation 401 right here on YouTube, breaking everything down after every single Leafs game, no matter what happens. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's all happening here on the Leaf Station 401. So like the stream, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. The man you guys just saw on your screens, Jay Rosehill and Nick Alberga, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time for Leafs Morning Take, talking about everything that happens the night before, teeing things up for the next night, the next few games that are coming up, as well as getting some amazing guests here on the show as well. And then here on the post-game show for Leaf Station After Dark. I mean, we do the game previews early in the day. We talk about the lines, who's playing, who's not, giving out best bets, game previews as well. On the post-game show, instant reactions to everything that happened and open up the call lines. If you want to call into the show, and I'm dead serious here, you want to call in, you want to rant, you want to rave, you want to fucking lose your minds about this team, you want to tell me how shit they are, how much you hate them, you want to tell me your trade proposals, you want to ask questions, I don't give a shit what you want to do. You want to come on here tonight and tell me you still believe in the team? Call into the show. The link is pinned in the top of the chat. You call into the show. I want to hear what you guys have to say and how you feel about the game here tonight. The Zoom link is pinned there. Before I can get to the callers that we do have on the line, quickly, we did hit 100 likes here, so I owe you guys some smelling salts, but I'm going to start with the first 50 because I think it's easier to do the first ones than the second ones. And as a reminder, every set of 50, 100, 150, all of it, all the way up, I will do the smelling salts. So keep liking the stream, keep subscribing, but here's the first 50. There you go. I'll get back to these. I owe you guys a second one, and then the more likes we get, the more we'll do. As well, we have a Super Chat charity partner this season on the show. That would be Sick Kids Charity. Our Super Chat charity partner is Sick Kids Charity, the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada, #3 in North America. Proceeds from our Super Chats do go to Sick Kids. You want to get your question, your comment, your concern read on the show here. I will read every single one. I will read and answer every single one that comes in. There are a few here right now just before we get to our first caller. PSF1 says, as I have been saying, Matthews is the problem. Bring back Prague. Here's the deal. Prague is serving game 3 of his suspension, but I will put a combo stipulation out there. If we hit 250 likes and we raise $200 on the postgame, both have to happen. 200 likes, $200. Both have to happen. I will let Prague call in. He is on game 3 of a 3-game suspension, but if you get me 200 likes and $200 on the postgame and proceeds going to Sick Kids charity, I will let Prague back on the show tonight. On a time limit, of course, but if you do that for me, Prague can call in. You know what? Fuck it. 250 likes, because we're almost at 200. 250 likes, $200, Prague can call in. Another super chat, Maxentius Decimus. Remember, it's the fans' fault that they play like this. Yeah, there you go, Max. Too hard on them in this city. Too hard on them. Tom Robbins, I think that's his name. Tom Robinson. Yep, just loading. Tom Robbins. Did the coach change his system from last year? We lose one player to Vegas and get more depth. I think they need to play more run and gun at this point, as what they are doing is not working. I mean, look, blame Marner, blame Berube. At the end of the day, this should not be happening to this degree. It should not be at the point that it is right now and the play the way that it is. We can complain about X's and O's, but genuinely, in my opinion, I think the X's and O's factor is like the difference between finishing in a wild card to winning the division, if you want to say that, where you're like in a playoff race. But the way that this team is playing right now is not even deserving of being in the playoffs. And I think this team, as constructed, is good enough to be there. So I'm not chalking this up to X's and O's and systems. This, before anything else, is on the guys in the room. I mean, again, like, to go back to this, we talked about this with Rosie. We've talked about this on pregame videos. We've talked about this with other people in the chat, other callers. Like, the lack of effort that was displayed tonight on the ice is despicable. This isn't bad bounces. This isn't the team getting unlucky. This isn't just one or two things not going their way. No, this is a team who's not willing to do the right things, not willing to buy in, not willing to finish checks and block shots and just play for each other out there. There's no intensity. There's no engagement. There's no focus. You could see them just decide at points, fuck it, we're out of here. Then you could see them, okay, we'll turn it on this shift. You cannot have that. You cannot have that. There is not a buy-in from this lineup from top to bottom that is good enough for them to get through games like this tonight. The Washington Capitals are a very good team. A very good team. So credit to them for the result here tonight. Like, the whole ranting and raving about the way the Leafs played is not to take away from anything Washington did tonight. Anything Washington did. The Leafs still could have lost this game. That would have been fine because you're playing Washington. They're a fucking hard-nosed team. But the whole point was, this is a team that is coming in here pissed off. They had lost 3 straight coming into this one. They were 0-2-1 in their last 3. They were going to be pissed off. They were going to come in here motivated. They were going to want to take it to you from the opening puck drop. And that's exactly what they did. You had to be ready, at least from bare minimum, from an effort standpoint. And this team failed to do so. They had zero fucking interest right from the puck drop from doing so. And it carried on all the way through this game. We can get to the power play. We can get to how shit that was. We can talk about these guys. Oh, yeah, the breakout's not working. The regroup's not working. Sure, that's all fair. We can dig into that. But the fact that you've got guys like the one William Nylander shift that stands out in my brain right now. It's in the second period. I think at that point you were still only down 2-0. It's a 3-on-2 out of the zone. He overskates the puck. It gets picked off by Rasmus Sandin at the Leafs blue line. You see Matthews and Knies turn back into the zone, and William Nylander just circles back, and he's the last guy in. Now, mind you, there were points in this game where William Nylander started to look like the William Nylander of old, where he's fucking buzzing down the wall, protecting pucks, hitting stopbacks, making things happen, and then it's like that play happens, and you just look at it and you go, that shit can't happen. That shit cannot happen. It can't. It's not acceptable, especially when you are a leader of the team. It can't happen. Jeremiah Maxwell also sending in $10 there, says anything for Sick Kids and Zach. Jeremiah, the Sports Beard. Thank you. Appreciate that. Again, reminder, $200 donations. This money's not going to me, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going in my pocket. Proceeds from the Super Chats go to Sick Kids Charity. We raised almost $4,500 last year here on this show. You send in those Super Chats, it goes to Sick Kids Charity. $200, and 250 likes. We will raise the Prague ban tonight. We will let him out on bail. This is game 3, so I think that's only fair. As well, Nate Dogg says, Matthews coming out like this after what he did last game is so typical. What a winner. I mean, it's not just him, man. It's everyone else through this lineup, top to bottom, that I look at in this game tonight. That is fucking infuriating. Looks like we are 30 likes away from a Prague release because PSF1 has just donated an additional $150 to the postgame show. Another massive super chat here tonight. Another $150 from PSF1 to reach his own personal total on this one to 200. Says, I did my part, $200 donated to the kids. Bring Prague back. Matthews is the problem. All we have to do now, first of all, unbelievable from PSF1. Thank you so much for the donation, for both donations, as a matter of fact. Appreciate you guys sending that money in. It goes to an amazing cause, so continue to support, continue to send that in. I genuinely, this game, this team, the season aside, cannot be more thankful for that donation that PSF1 just sent in. We're getting a holiday time, we're getting to Christmas here. There's people who need that, and that support and that help in their lives right now, so to be contributing to that is fucking awesome stuff. PSF1, thank you very much for doing that, but says, bring Prague back. You're 27 likes away now from Prague being released. Matthews is the problem, PSF1 says. Look, I don't think he's the problem, but I think he is part of it rather than part of the solution right now. I think him, Nylander, Marner, when they were here, the culture that was established amongst those guys has led to where you are at right now. Ben Austin as well. Berube said post-game, the team has no passion. He said, ask the players why. All starts from your captain. Who should be scratched? Anyone agree? It does start from the top. It does start from the top. That is undeniable. All right, we got callers. A lot of callers. So, people who want to call in tonight, I'm not going to make you say one thing, spend 30 seconds and get out. But we can't do any crazy 10, 15 minute calls here tonight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start a 5-minute timer every time we welcome somebody to the stream. I will start the timer and we'll rip it through that way. I think that's the easiest and most fair way given the amount of callers we have waiting to call in here tonight. And quickly before we get to the next one, $50 donation comes in from Jeremiah Maxwell. Jeremiah, thank you. Says, Merry Christmas, Canada, and all the great people at Daily Faceoff. Jeremiah, thank you for another amazing super chat. Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat. But thank you, Jeremiah, for the super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciated. The support here coming tonight, whether it's to the post-game show or if it's just to the people at Sick Kids Charity, it does not go unnoticed. And I genuinely mean it when I'm very sincerely thankful for the support you guys are sending in. But thanks for the super chat. With that, let's go to our first caller on the line, as we do have a bunch lined up here right now. Mando, let's hear it, buddy. How you feeling tonight?
Hey, Zach. I don't know, man. I'm watching that. Oh my gosh. I know I have 5 minutes. I'm probably gonna burn most of it, but I got a bunch of things racing through my head. It's, theories on what's going on with the top, but we have to start with the top players. But anyways, this game.
Sorry, I didn't mean to show the timer to show you. I just am showing in general that I am starting that. Go ahead.
No problem. So, okay, we have to start with Matthews. I'm looking at Matthews, and Okay, we got somebody. Can you mute
If
whoever's?
you're in the back on the call, mute. Mando, I'll pause your time. I'll pause your time. If you're in the back right now on the Zoom call waiting to call in, mute while you wait. Mute while you wait. Everybody else in the Zoom call can hear you. It's a little weird feature that I can't figure out. I can't hear, but everybody else can hear. So if you're in the back waiting, mute. Anyways, Mando, continue.
Okay, watching Matthews. The way he used to back check, 8 out of 10 times he would come up behind the guy and strip the puck. Today on the first goal, I'm watching Matthews. He's chasing the guy through the neutral zone, all the way into the defensive zone of Toronto. Matthews can barely catch up with the guy, and doesn't really. It looks like he's laboring. Like there's got to be something wrong with the guy. I'm convinced now. I was on the fence, 50-50. Is it an injury, or is it something else, like something mental? Like I don't know, uh, something. But it looks like he's laboring. Um, and then it was the power play that the Capitals had where uh, again he was chasing somebody all the way out to the neutral zone and he gets spun around like a freaking dervish, like a whirling dervish, and it
Whirling
ended up
Darvish.
becoming like a 5-on-3. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just whirling in center ice, like just
Yeah.
spinning around on the ground like it was my son's house league. I could not believe it. He couldn't hang on to pucks. He
Yeah.
couldn't take pucks away from anybody. He used to
Yeah.
be strong. Like you couldn't take away the puck from Matthews if he had it. And if you had the puck, Matthews would freaking take the puck away from you.
Yep.
He's unable to do any of that. And it's astounding. It's actually it's breathtaking. Like I don't know how else to. But then let's move to Nylander. This is going to be a really bad take. A lot of people are going to probably uh, trigger some people. This is a theory, okay? I'm not saying this is what's going on. Does Nylander like playing hockey anymore? I'm wondering. Didn't he start a YouTube channel? Mind you, he hasn't been
He
on
did.
that for a while. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like to play hockey anymore. Mike Agello from Buffalo. I used to follow him a lot, and he had this term coined, Mr. Willie and Dr. Nylander, synonymous with, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Mr. Willie being the monster, the shit bag. Mr. Willie freaking killed Dr. Nylander. He's gone. Like the Dr. Nylander that plays good hockey, he's gone. I'm serious. Like I don't know. We've got now a situation where the guys that need to drive the bus are not. And then you have McMann letting Chikrin just come right through the blue line. McMann, I don't know what he was doing. He was sitting there. He was just standing straight up, and he tried to poke his stick at a full flight NHL stud
I
D man.
Flat-footed. And look, dude, I love McMahon, but like again, it's just creeping through these guys. Every one of them, Mando. Every fucking one of them. I can't believe it. It's every guy. It's the guys you wanna stand up for. It's the guys night in, night out you look at and you say, that guy gives it his effort. Maybe he doesn't have his A game tonight. Maybe he's not offensively inclined, but he's bringing this. He brings that to the table. He finishes this check. He blocks these shots. He does this. Nope. And I mean, look, on that shift, sure, those guys were tired. You saw two of his line mates go for a change, but fucking dig in. You're down 2-0 on the road to a good team. Find a way. Find it in you. And it's just flat-footed, stick out, hoping, maybe I'll get this guy.
Yeah.
A minute left, Mando.
And okay, we'll go to Knies. And it like you said, it filtered down to him. He became so ineffective that they had to switch guys, right? They took him to Tavares and they brought Cowan up in the second or third period. I forgot, but now he's in the doldrums as well, not doing anything. I mean, you can't expect Dakota Joshua to save your ass every night. He didn't come here to. He'll do it once in a while, and he's doing his job. Like, frankly, Dakota Joshua is doing exactly what he was brought here for. And then the other positives being, if we forget about the negatives for now, Hildeby still doing great, and I think I really think Cowan is really developing. He's the only guy that's like carrying the puck and making, like, when he has the puck, he's doing stuff. Like, he's creating plays, or he's trying to create plays, and he's doing like really good things. Nylander can't carry the puck anymore through the neutral zone. Like,
It's
I don't
wild.
see him. I don't see him carry the puck. You have Cowan doing it, so those are the positives I see is Cowan and Hildeby, and also one more thing is the PK. The PK is borderline elite now, right? Their PK, we
Playing
have
much
to
better.
at least acknowledge that, is really damn good right now. So
Yeah.
just want to leave at that.
All right, Mando. Thank you for the call. Again, I'm not trying to like cut people short
I understand,
here,
no
not
problem.
let you get your
I
opinion.
get it.
We got a lot of people here tonight who want to give their opinions, and I want to make sure everyone gets a fair shake on this one. So I thank you for your time here tonight, Mando. I thank you for your participation and your thoughts. Try to enjoy the rest of the night, and I hope to see you in the chat.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
There you go, Mando. We got more people to get to here. Just a moment before we do. Right as we had the caller jump on the line, we did end up with a massive super chat here yet again. I asked you guys, 250 likes, $200 donated, and we were going to let Prague out of prison here tonight. We have raised over $500 right now on the postgame show, and thanks to our guy Tom Robbins, who jumps in here with a $300 super chat as well. Great cause for sick kids. They help my sister a lot. Please accept this as a great gesture to what you do and what they do. Thank you. No, thank you, Tom. I sit here and I talk about the Maple Leafs. I talk about them as a team that I love watching for the most part. I want them to win. I want them to succeed. I want them to win a Stanley Cup. So I come on here and get my raw emotions immediately after every single game, breaking everything down. That's all I do. I sit down in front of a camera and I talk. You guys show up here every single night, so I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for liking, subscribing. We did 270 likes here on the post game as well. That's a lot of smelling salts to do. Fuck as well, so I got to catch up on that. But Tom, thank you so much. I'm glad that they helped your sister out. I hope that money, that donation that you sent, and the donations that everyone else in the chat continues to send here, the $500 donated on the post game here tonight. They've helped us, and are hopefully helping people at Sick Kids as well. So thank you guys so much. But Tom, you said thank you to me. Thank you. Bill Coyote with the super chat as well. What has to happen to kickstart a retool? If not now, when? Bill, I don't know, buddy. I don't know what is going to have to do it. Earlier in the season, and again, not trying to call for anybody's heads and saying you want someone to lose their job, but earlier in the year, I was already calling for it and saying, hey, it's time. You got to bring Berube out of here. You got to get Berube out because you need a new voice. Part of my worry was you continue this, you get further and further into this season, and you just continue in this lull, you end up in the same spot. You are exactly where you were again before you were when you went on that little win streak, when you won a bunch of games in a row, when you won a bunch in like a 7-game span and you picked up points in 6 straight. Like from before that point, you were back to where you were before. You were just above the Buffalo Sabres, who win here again tonight, at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Like you have just found yourselves back there, and you have now blown 15 to 20 games off your schedule by keeping things the same. Now, mind you, keeping the players, getting players back who were injured, that stuff obviously helps. That's fair. And we were looking at a team that was missing a bunch of guys at that point. But to get these guys back, that obviously helps. But now here you are, you still got Barube, you still got Mark Savard, you still got all these guys, and you're in the same spot, but you've just lost 15 games of runway. So what is it going to take now? And it's pretty uncommon, by the way, for NHL teams to fire coaches and trade players and get rid of staff before the holidays. It's pretty uncommon. So, who the fuck knows? Cats and Rats bringing up a good point. Toronto had made ground, now gone. 100% gone. Another super chat comes in here. I can't even keep up with this at this point. I appreciate it. Please don't stop. But Langles says, just sends in a super chat, $7 super chat. If you got a message, send it in. I'll do my best to find it and read it. But, he says, Fire Tree and Barube, 3 firsts for OEL, Carlo and Wall. Look, I mean, those are like... OEL and Wall are like the only redeeming points right now. Lawton as well looks good. Easton Cowan looks good. But yeah, there's a lot of tough shit happening with this group. Before I go to the next caller, I got to catch up on some stuff because there's 278 likes here tonight, which means we're getting close to having to do the 6th super smelling salt, which means that I don't want this to get too far before I do catch up. So here's the smelling salts, as I have 5 that I'm going to have to do right now. Thank you for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Here's the smelling salts. Oh, there you go. There's the smelling salts. Keep subscribing, everybody. Keep subscribing here to the post-game show. Thank you for your support. But with that, let's get to the next caller that we've got on the line. Let's get to our guy. He's known mostly only positivity in his time being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but now it's the dark days again, it seems like right now. Or at bare minimum, it's a goddamn fucking struggle. Noah G., the Nylander Glazer, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Zach. What's up, bro?
What's up, Noah? How you doing tonight after this loss?
Man, it's bad. It's bad. You don't understand how angry I am right now, Zach. Like,
let it fly, buddy.
Oh, Zach, like,
let it fly. Stage is yours.
It might sound psychotic, but I just want to punch my window in my room right now. Oh my, man, that is bad. This team is making me not enjoy hockey anymore. I can't believe I'm saying that. Like, I don't like hockey. My dad today showed me a picture of me when I'm 8 years old underneath the Christmas tree with getting my Austin Matthews jersey and hockey cards and Matthews on it. And now it's like I want him off my team. Like I don't like the guy. The team sucks. Oh, it's bad, Zach. This is an embarrassing team.
Yeah, and no, I mean, not to take up all your airtime here. That's the one thing that I keep thinking about watching the game. You know, we've seen teams around the NHL, or even this Leafs team, have bad years, bad seasons, bad moments, bad times. It happens, but it's not that common that you could look at a group and be like, this is an unlikable group. It's not that common that the fan base is actually booing the players on the ice as opposed to the management or the coaching staff or the owners. Oftentimes, that frustration is pointed above those people, and they try, they're just not that good, and they're fun to watch, they're just not that good. This group right now, it's struggling to meet any of that criteria of a group that you want to get behind, other than the fact, not to be confused with the fact, you know, we are Leafs fans, and we want the team to win, and that seems to be the only redeemable factor here, Noah. We love the team, and we want them to win.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke of a franchise. Like, I'm starting to get that. Like, everybody always told me that, but man, it's goddamn embarrassing. They don't care. They don't care. Like, that's the main part. None of them have a passion. Even Berube said it. But, like, you're not any better. Like, you were brought in to play a certain style of hockey, and you've gotten soft. He's been soft too, Berube. He only lashes out on one guy, and it's Willie. That's why I think Willie's playing like that. I heard the other guy said, oh, Willie just looks like he's not interested. I think that's because he wants Berube gone.
You think so?
I would want him gone if I got yelled at every single time.
So you're not buying into the idea that there's like, a love-hate relationship, and he likes it, and it gets him going?
No. Wow. Would you like a guy yelling at you every day in front of cameras, in front of all your friends, in front of all your fans? Would you like that? Like, it's bad, man. Like, that's embarrassing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially when no one
fair.
else is doing it. You're the leading points to have the team. You're the only guy who shows up in the playoffs, and you're the guy getting yelled at every game. But
I'm with you.
Looks like David Kampf out there, and like he's protecting his feelings. Like, Who cares about Austin at this point? It's brutal, man. If I wake up tomorrow morning and I don't see a move has been done to get that shitty guy Mark Savard off, Coach Berube, or Dumbo up top and Brad Shilevy, I'm done with this team. And man, like, I was so happy today. You know, I had Christmas break. You know, school's off. I would think, oh, I'm gonna have a good time this Christmas break. Not if I'm gonna watch this shitty ass Leafs team.
I know, man. Like, there's nothing positive about this. Like, Noah, I mean, there's nothing that we can think about here to be like, well, that at least that's coming up. You know, I think about the road trip that you're about to go on. This team's about to go on. Dallas, Nashville are some of the teams. Nashville, not the greatest team, but a team that has started winning games here all of a sudden. Like, you know, you're going to go through this. You're going to get to the holidays, and it's like, is there anything positive that's going to be coming? Is there anything that eases up? Because we went through an easy schedule to start the season. You pissed it away.
Yeah, there is a positive, Zach. You know what it is?
What's that?
Veerhoff / McKenna. One of the two, bro. I'm telling you. Like, no crazy.
I know.
I bet of a dream would be the Leafs miss out on the playoffs. Everybody's angry. Everybody's throwing torches at Scotiabank Arena. But then you see the lottery ball going. The Toronto Maple Leafs their first overall pick. Man, that would be the best ever. But at the same time, I do not want to suffer through this team's shittiness. And, like, they just need to do something, man. Like, oh, I don't even know. Like, I came on here, like, so angry, and I still am, but, like, I can't put my anger into words because I'm afraid the wrong thing's going to come out. Or, yeah, like, man, I just also don't want to, like, torch up, like, in general. Like, I don't want to be cursing the whole time on here, but, like, man,
it's fair.
This is a shitty team, and it's making me lose hockey and, like, lose my love for hockey. And I don't know, I might take a little break for the Leafs for a little bit.
Look, dude, I mean, I don't blame you. I completely understand the frustration. I'm with you on the frustration. It feels like a lot of Leafs fans right now, Noah, are kind of in that same boat of like, this is pissing me off. I can't watch this anymore, and I completely understand. The amount of people who come here to the chat on a daily basis at this point and are like, I can't watch, I can't go to games, I can't do this. I completely get it, dude. Like, I completely get it, Noah. Any final thoughts from you here? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I went to opening night and the game against the Kings. I didn't pay. My friend got tickets for free. Shout out Luca.
Shout out Luca.
And watching those games, like, it makes you, like, you're at the game. Like, I got him for free. I don't want to be yelling because, like, that shows I'm not appreciating it, right? But man, even like the opening night, I knew straight away this team has no skill and no heart, and it's bad. And I just want to sign off on one thing. This might be the most hateable franchise in all sports. Am I wrong? Like
you just mean that in terms of like the things they do, or what makes you say that?
The PR, like, I don't know what it is about the Leafs PR, just pisses me off. Like,
they're not doing themselves any favors.
Yeah. Barube and Trey Living, when I watch his press conferences, oh my god, if I was one of those reporters, I would be like, shut the fuck up. Honestly, I don't know how those reporters listen to him. And of course, your star players acting like they hate the game of hockey.
Yeah, there does seem to be a serious lack of interest from those guys right now. And then, I mean, yeah, just the lack of transparency, the way the injuries and stuff are being approached, like, it's starting to piss people off in this fan base. No, I completely get it. I completely get it. Thank you for calling in here tonight. Thank you for giving your thoughts, your opinions, and how you feel, because it's not just you, Noah. It's a lot of people in Leafs Nation who are in the same boat as you right now. So thanks for calling in. Thanks for letting us know how you feel
Zach.
on this
Have
one.
A good night,
we
bro.
got more people to get to. There you go. Noah G, hopping on the post game again to give his thoughts. And we got more callers on the line and more people that we're going to get to, and I want to hear from throughout the course of the night tonight. And as well, if you guys are in the chat and you want to jump in, you want to participate, you want to give your thoughts, the call line is open. We got over 700 people watching here right now. The call line is open, so keep calling into the show. Keep giving me your thoughts. I will just run this thing as long as we need. I want to hear from you people. I want to hear in the chat. I want to see your super chats. I want to get to the callers, like all of it. This is about Leafs fans tonight more than any other night ever, because this is a fucking infuriating game. From the effort shown to the result that we saw to the lack of pushback, all of it. You know, the fact that we watched what we saw on Saturday night against the Edmonton Oilers, getting your absolute shit kicked, hearing Craig Berube, seeing him lose his shit on the bench, hearing him call the team out in the postgame, then going to practice and watching them change everything up, demanding intensity. You go into the game against the Blackhawks, no answer. You go through 55 minutes of some of the worst hockey that we've ever seen from this Maple Leafs team. Some of the least interested, least engaged players, games, all of it, shifts, all of it from these guys. And then you find yourself in a position where you finally get back into the game. You tie it up late in the third. You win the game. And it's like, okay, maybe, just maybe, this team tapped into something. Maybe this team has found something in them to dig out of this hole and turn this thing around and get themselves back on track here so that they can fucking string together some wins and go on a road trip, be with the boys and get some positivity, go into Washington and fucking win this game. They didn't deserve to win this game for 1 fucking second. The power play in the first period, they had 3 opportunities. They went 0 for 3. They had 1 shot on goal across all 3 power plays. They were credited initially with 5 shots on goal and had 1 taken away. They finished the first period, of which they had 3 power plays, with 4 total shots on goal. 4 shots on goal. 1 shot on goal across all 3 power plays. Fucking atrocious. Atrocious effort, atrocious focus, atrocious engagement. All of it. Disgusting. Puke-worthy hockey from this Maple Leafs team tonight. Not one thing that you could look at and say, yeah, that was good. Nickel City Grunge pointing out 0 for 5 on the power play. I'm just talking about the first period. A period where you could at least look at it and be like, hey, maybe they show up here and they can get something going. Nothing. No shots on goal. No puck movement. Not moving their feet. Nothing. 4 shots in 1 period when you had 3 fucking power plays. Unacceptable. Unacceptable from this group. Pathetic, in fact. Unacceptable. More super chats. We got more callers, so I want to get to the callers, but more super chats. Another $100 super chat comes in here. Holy shit. PSF1, you are the man here tonight. Thank you for the super chats. PSF1, $100 super chat again. Waiting for Prague, saying hello to Ian Smith. Merry Christmas to Leafs Nation and to all the kids. Love all around. PSF1, Prague will be coming up later. He said he's waiting and catching up on the show, probably catching up on the game as well. So we'll let Prague do whatever it is he's got to do before he comes on later. But he will come on when he wants to come on. Saying hello to Ian Smith. Dude, you sent in like $350 tonight. Say hello to whoever the hell you want, man. Hello to Ian Smith. Hello, Ian Smith. Merry Christmas to you too, PSF1, and obviously Merry Christmas to all the kids and Leafs Nation. Thanks to the super chat. Tom Robinson again with another super chat. Tom also just pumping super chats into the post-game show here tonight. I still think they may push for the playoffs, but it will be in and out fast. I've been a Leaf fan since 93. I tell my staff, sorry, I have no nails left being a Leafs fan. Tom, as fucking insane as it sounds to say here tonight, I'm with you, man. Like, this team, and this is where it's like so frustrating. This team, and I know people are mad at True Living. I know people are mad at Berube, but I watch a game like that tonight. I'm sorry. Like, there's enough talent on the ice to be able to win that game. There is enough talent on this ice to at least be able to stay in that game at bare minimum. There's enough talent on this team, I think, to get themselves into a playoff spot. Genuinely. Like, I know that sounds awful to say tonight or just ridiculous to say tonight, but, like, they are a good enough group. They're not that much different from last year, and last year they won the Atlantic Division, and they went to the second round, Game 7. Like, they have that in them. They have that ability. It's just games like this where they just completely fuck off that it's like, what are you doing? How do you not show up? Couple more super chats. Maxentius Decimus. Noah just hasn't had this team destroy his soul yet. Yeah, he's experiencing it right now. He experienced it every year in the playoffs, and now he's starting to feel it more. Little Willie Styles in a super chat here as well. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a happy holidays. Over $650 here. I don't even know the final total. Over $650 in super chats donated to the post-game show right now. 300 likes. I've done 2 sets of smelling salts, which means that I've got to do 6 total, so I got 4 more to give. Keep liking the stream. We'll keep doing the smelling salts. I want 500 likes tonight. I want 500 likes. I don't know. I'm sure my girlfriend's watching. I'm sure the people at Leafs Nation are watching. Tell me what I should do at 500 likes. Maybe we'll set a goal. If we hit 500 likes on the postgame, there's 720 viewers right now. If we get 500 likes on the postgame, you guys send in what you want as well. We'll see. But you send in, let me know. And maybe at 500 we'll do something. Or we have to go higher because we're at 315. But if we get to like a certain number, we'll do something on the show. I don't fucking know what yet, but we'll do something. But anyways, here's the third smelling salts instead of the as we've got to get to 6 here. Thanks for liking. There you go. Oh, all right. That's all the super chats. That's the smelling salts for now. Next caller on the line. Let's welcome to the show our guy Alex A. Alex, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm all right. Disappointed, but I'm all right.
You're all right.
Yourself?
Not good, dude. Not good. I'm happy about the super chats. I'm happy about everybody here expressing themselves. I'm happy that all the callers are coming here to give their opinions on the game. But I'm fucking furious with the lack of effort that we saw on the show tonight. Or in the game tonight.
Yeah. For the game, yeah, no, 100%. And what you were talking about with Noah a few minutes ago, that I agree with him to a degree, is about Willie, about how he feels about Berube. I don't feel he hates Berube myself, but I do agree to a point where I think he maybe is fed up that it's always Berube targeting him. I think, like when you see him on the bench and all that, I feel like it's more directed at Nylander most of the time. And not to say he doesn't ever deserve it, which I do think he does because of his effort a lot. But I think there's other guys on the team that he needs to, make accountable or have them be accountable. And I guess he did a little bit the other day with calling out the leadership, but he didn't really kind of call out anyone specific. He just kind of called out, I don't know, Matthews, I'm gonna guess, and the other guys that probably wear the A, and maybe like other guys that are leaders in the locker room. But I think he needs to actually call out those kind of players like Matthews and stuff like that. Like, I don't know why he's so protected. You're literally wearing the C of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you can't be called out by your coach and be like, yeah, I need to be better. I'm going to be better. Let's do this. Like, I'm going to put the team on my back. I know we think he's hurt and all that, but still, like, dude, you got to have some level of urgency. I don't care if you're like Zdeno Chara playing with like the broken jaw. Like, that guy had urgency back when he was in the playoffs all those years for the Bruins. You know what I mean? So it's like completely different. Like, I don't know, it's just soft. It just pisses me off how soft. I've watched other sports, and I'm fans of other teams and other sports. And one thing that I see between the Leafs and other teams I watch in other sports is the urgency and like the dog they have in them. Like, it's so embarrassing. It's probably the most embarrassing team that I'm a fan of. I love this team more than anything, but man, are they embarrassing. And it's pathetic that 9 years of this crap, and people are sitting here, it's Mitch Marner gone. guess what? I'm happy he's gone because it's now exposing stuff like this. You were outskilling these guys before just to kind of cover up these problems. We're starting to figure it out, or maybe the media is starting to really figure it out in the regular season that, hey, this isn't going to work. You guys got to figure it the hell out. You guys got to have some more effort because you guys can't, just half-ass it the whole time like back in years past, and they still do it because they think they can, and it's just completely wrong, and it pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie, like holy.
Yeah, look, and this is, I think, part of the problem and part of what's happened in years past. Like, you talked about it there, and it's being brought up in the chat right now. People are echoing the sentiment. 6 1/3 bringing it up as well, and like it's part of the problem too. Like how. And I go back to this. This started there was one game, and I know people are going to remember the exact game that I'm talking about. There was one game a few years ago with Sheldon Keefe. It was on a trip in Anaheim. I think it was in like 2022. They go on a West Coast road trip. They play the game in Anaheim. Sheldon Keefe comes out after the game and called out Mitch Marner. And the next day, he had to walk back his comments and say, "Oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what happened. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I don't mean blah, blah, blah." And he went on and walked it back. From that day, it just continued to perpetuate this whole like country club, bubble wrapped bullshit narrative. And Alex, like, again, Nylander seems to be the only guy who's ever been able to take it, which is a very frustrating thing. And, he has his warts. He does his shit that I look at, and it infuriates me, Alex. And, this one here tonight, I watched shit that he did, and I talked about the one where he loses it at the blue line. He skates right past it. He doesn't bend his knees. He's the last one back in the zone. Like, you think a moment like that where he turns that puck over, he's going to be the fastest guy back, the hardest working guy back to get back in the zone and get back in and chase down the puck after he lost it, and he's the last one. He's the last guy. He should be the first, the hardest working, the fastest. He's not. And like, that stuff pisses me off. But you know what happens? Berube will call out Nylander only because it seems like Nylander seems to be the only one to be able to take it. That's a problem. Not just from the whole like calling out Nylander side of things, because that stuff like it's like unfortunate, and maybe Noah and Mando and them are right about the fact that, hey, maybe it's bothering him, maybe he doesn't like it, and that's fair. But at the same time, he seems to be able to take it. He seems to be able to handle it and respond for the most part, like 99% of the times. But it's bothersome that like he can't call out Austin Matthews because you can't expect the guy to respond the right way. You couldn't call out Mitch Marner because he wouldn't respond the right way. You can't call out. You've never called out Morgan Riley because who knows how he'll respond. Like, these things are all concerning, Alex, because it all speaks to the identity and the character of the group more than anything else, which I know we're going to get people in the chat pushing back. Oh, attacking the character again? Real mature. Well, what else can you chalk this up to at this point? Because it's what we're seeing now, as you just said about Marner being gone, where it's like it's exposing warts. They just had enough skill put together that they could kind of hide everything because they could skill their way through. It's the same shit what we just saw against Chicago in the third period the other day. They could skill their way through that because Chicago wasn't that good. And even against some of the good teams, they could skill their way through it. This, they don't have the ability anymore. You have to learn how to sack up. You have to learn how to play as a team. You have to learn how to play hockey and not skills competition. And it seems like this group struggles to do so because they finally started to play some hockey last year and they got through and had some success in the playoffs and did well in the regular season. And then it was like, they show that, hey, we really want to play skills comp. We want to do backhand no-look sauces. And then you lose in 7 to the Florida Panthers in an embarrassing fashion. Well, if you play hockey, you can win games. If you want to play skills competition, you're going to get your shit fucked. And right now, they seem to be not that interested in playing hockey. They want to go back to skills competition. And it's not a skills competition. And now more than ever, especially when you lose one of those guys, you're forced to play hockey. And they don't seem that interested in doing it.
Yeah, you mentioned the whole, like, you lose in the puck. I think you said Willie losing the puck and then, should be hustling as hard as he can back. That is the one thing that, like, is straight just an effort and urgency. Like any sport I've played, like, if I make a mistake, I am the hardest working guy to get whatever ball, puck, whatever it is. Like it's not rocket science. Like I don't understand what is so hard to understand about that. Like if you seriously think you can win a Stanley Cup with guys like multiple guys, I'm not gonna say you can't do it with like one guy or something like that, but like with multiple guys that are like that, that's where the issue is. There, like Berube as example, I think like when he won the cup with St. Louis, and don't maybe correct me if I'm wrong, at least from what I believe, Tarasenko wasn't a guy that was like hustling, like you know. I think he was very similar to Nylander, kind of like the way he kind of handles the game. And guess what? That's okay to have a guy like that, but you can't have four of them or three of them even, because that just builds 100%. Like identity in your top six. So that's where I think the issue really arises from. And now we got rid of one, right, in Marner, but we still have Matthews and Nylander, and I don't even know, like, do I really want to throw JT in there at this point? Like, I don't even know. Like, he's old.
Like I think
I don't know.
JT is the guy that he was always older. I think he's a really good captain. I'm not trying to, like, excuse him of it, but I think it's just, like, JT is what he is. You know, he's a guy who can help you win a Stanley Cup. I do believe that. I think he's a really good guy to have in your locker room. I think he's a good guy to have around. He just might not be the guy to lead the charge, you know, into fucking Braveheart style. Maybe that's not JT, but I think he's like the consummate pro you want around. Like he's a right kind of guy to have. So I'm not going to shit on him there, but like I do agree with you. Like at least the three other guys, they were far too similar than they were different. And I think that's where it leads to the problem. JT, I think, is probably a little different than them, but not in the way you want him to be. Like, he's not, for example, what, like, Gabe Landeskog is to, like, Nathan McKinnon and to Cale Makar. You know, like, he's not, like, that dynamic of those guys. And Nichushkin and like, looking at that lineup. Or go to Pittsburgh and, like, Malkin, Crosby, Letang. They all have very different personalities and approaches to the game. And then you throw the other guys around them. Like, they all bring something different. This Leafs team, they all kind of have... They're all a little bit too similar. They've all always been a little bit too similar. And I think for the rest of the team, they tried to overcompensate every single year, whether it was at the deadline or in the offseason, to be like, well, we're going to combat what Matthews, Nylander, and Marner do by bringing in these other pieces. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, the perfect example of that, from going off of what you just said, was the year against Montreal. They brought in Nick Foligno. Why did they bring in Nick Foligno? Let's think for a second. To be physical, to be that complementary piece to help those guys. Obviously, it didn't work out, but I'm just speaking about the kind of player they brought in, because Dubas knew those three guys, right, not including JT, I'm just saying those three guys, Matthews, Nylander, and Marner, weren't those kind of players to go further in the playoffs. And he did the same thing with Ryan O'Reilly, I guess, too. So, like, they tried, and it never worked. And then Tree Living got handed, hey, here you go, you can't trade Marner because, you know, here's no movement clause. And Dubas, from what we've heard, wanted to trade Marner before he was, or as he was going to leave, but Shanahan didn't let him. I don't know if that's true. I'm just going based off what I heard. And it's just frustrating because how this team could look. We could have had Mikko Rantanen, and we could have had maybe Shea Theodore. We could have had Shea Theodore, maybe. That was another rumor with Vegas. Maybe they were interested in him. We could have got a package with Shea Theodore or something, right? Like, how much different would the team look? We're all speaking hypothetical, but it's like, it's just so frustrating to see how these guys are. I'm still going to obviously watch the team, as frustrating as it is, obviously. It's just really frustrating to see how, like, just that urgency, like we always talk about. And, like, I really don't get, I don't get how you can be like that in a professional league and that many of them on one team. I think it's just a straight culture issue, and I think that whole organization just got some issues, in my opinion. I think the whole organization, from the PR, like all of that, like I think it's just I don't know what you can do other than clear house and like, hey, let's figure this out. Other than maybe like the scouting department and some other things, some specific things, right? I'm saying like in regards to the PR and all these other things that kind of build the environment up there for the players. I'm just not interested in it with how it's been. And I think a lot of people can agree, and there's some soft fans that won't agree, and that's completely okay. But I think they are completely wrong, because I think it's a bigger issue than what we are just seeing, I guess. I think there's more that's a problem. My opinion. I could be wrong. I'm just saying I at least believe so.
All right, I'll give you 1 minute here, Alex. 1 minute to close this out. Hot minute, whatever you got. Any other thoughts? Anything you left off the table that you want to cover here? Let's hear it. What do you got for Leafs Nation?
Okay. I think Hildeby and Cowan were probably the best players in the ice for the Leafs tonight. I don't think that's that crazy to say. I'm sure a lot of people agree. Some people might not. I think there's some positives to see with Cowan and having some young players that we do have, a very few of them. And I'd like to try and see in the future if we can, depending how the rest of this year goes and stuff like that. I'd love to get younger and to have some opportunity to see new faces and maybe change that culture, in my opinion. Don't know what's going to happen. I'm just throwing out what I'd like to see. And I think just seeing those two younger guys getting some mojo, even with the team not being super high morale, is I guess a positive thing to see, at least to take a little bit of a positive. It's not a big one, and I'm not trying to run away with it, but hey, I'm looking into deeper things than just the results, because we can all read the scoreboard and see that it didn't go our way, and we watched the product in the ice, and the effort was terrible. So I think that's really the two biggest things I wanted to say, other than what we talked about.
Hey, fair enough. Alex, I appreciate the call here tonight. I appreciate your input and you jumping on here. As always, you're here every single show, so thank you very much for that. For those people that are... for those of you that are in here and want to give your thoughts and also want to call in, you can call in just like Alex did. But thank you for doing so. Thanks for doing this, Alex. Enjoy the rest of your night the best you can, and look forward to having more calls on here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, Zach. Thanks. Take care.
All right. There you go. Alex A. Always appreciate that. We got more people waiting, more people to get to as well. I saw a couple people leave there. I don't know if it was just because you were waiting or whatever the situation was, but if you were... if you were waiting, jump back in here. I'm going to get to everybody. So unless you have to go, I want to hear all the callers tonight. I want to hear what everyone thinks about this one. So get back in the queue, wait in line here, and we'll get to all the callers tonight. Just quickly, a super chat here that we've got from Tammy. This one comes in from Tammy. She says, notch on your eyebrows. Tammy, I don't know about that. I don't think that that's what I will do at 500 likes. I mean, the idea of, maybe doing like a ladder or something, or like at like 750. Okay, maybe like we build it up and do that. Sure. But I don't know about 500 likes doing a notch in the eyebrows. I'm not really sure. We'll have to come up with like a pre-agreed upon ladder here. As well, let's do smelling salts. I don't want to let this get out of hand. 340, so we're going to have to do 7. For those keeping track at home, this would be smelling salts number 4 here on the post game. So this would make up for number 200. Every like that you guys gets us closer and closer, because every 50 we do 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, which we're 10 likes away from right now, 400, 450, 500. We'll do the smelling salts on the post-game show. So continue to continues to subscribe here to the channel. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers here now. Now that we got to 20K, which thank you all, that would be our next goal. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Here's the smelling salts. There you go. More. Need more. Keep liking. That is number 4. Smelling salt counter number 4. We're going to have 5 next. Let's go to the next caller on the line. We've had all these people waiting for a long time, so I appreciate all the patience from everyone here. I did see that our guy Patty G was in there. J.R. Smith was in there. If you guys want to jump back in, get in there, wait, and we will get to all of them. But let's start with our guy. Actually, you know what? Let's go to this caller. I don't think I've ever had them call in before. Jamie Richardson. Jamie, do we got you?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, Jamie?
I have been a Leaf fan since 1984.
Okay.
I walked in the gardens. This is pretty funny. I walked in the gardens. My mom was at the box office. I walked in past her to find a bathroom. A man in a wheelchair, I asked, he said, what does this look like? An effing gas station? I was 10. He hit me with his cane on the shin. I kicked him back. It was Harold Ballard.
I was going to say.
That was the first end. I mean, I've been a Leaf fan since, and they've been upsetting me or whatever, letting me down every year, but I'm hanging in there. But, I just feel like, what was it, 3 weeks ago, general manager come out and he said it was the answer is in a room. We had injuries, all that. It's not. They haven't done anything. Do something. I've been a manager in different jobs, and when things are going bad, you've got to find a token fire. You've got to do something, suspend somebody, fire someone. They deserve it, but you're really looking to get somebody gone to wake everybody up. Mm-hmm. Something's got to happen.
So what do you do here?
Comfortable.
Sorry, Jamie.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Drastically, I go to Morgan Riley, who has a no move, and say, look, man, it's time to go. You're not going to play. You're not going to practice. You're going to be not here. We're going to pay you, but you're not here. Give me a list of where you want to go. You may have to go that drastic. I know it's tough, but you do something like that. Maybe the other guys are like, wait a minute. Domi is another one who I think that everybody loves in a room. Yeah, you got to do something drastic like that. You got to reach these guys somehow.
Yeah,
you do something drastic like that, right? I'm just throwing out possibilities here, but you can't just do nothing, because that's not the answer.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've gone beyond the point of like the answers in the room, as you just said. Like, it's past that, and that's what's a little bit frustrating to me is I think there's still enough talent in there. I think there's still enough of the right guys in there, for the most part, at least. Jamie, we can debate how many guys or the decisions truly being made, but I still think there's enough good quality players in that room, and guys that you'd want a part of your team if you're going to make a playoff push or a push, and I'm not saying this group can do so, but in general, to win the Stanley Cup. There's enough of the right guys in there. What's frustrated me is, Jamie, since that conversation was had, since that press conference was had, that was like 15 games ago now in the season, that we have just waltzed through where you went up, and you came right back down, and nothing has happened, and we have the same problem now that we did 15 games ago when that press conference happened, and it's starting to drive me nuts, Jamie.
Something, I mean, you've got to reach in. I mean, we heard the DNA change. I don't think we had enough of that. We had some out, but I don't think we had. There's some kind of bad influence in that dressing room, or not positive. Something's going on there, because they seem like they don't care if they get beat.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And like, look, it's a long season. This is the one thing I'll say. It's 82 games. It's a long season. Like, not every game feels the same. Not every game is one that you get up for the same. But Jamie, I think that, to your point where you're talking about like the emotions and stuff that you see of the guys, like, go down and lose in overtime and you lose 2-1, or lose in game 7, or lose 4-0, or lose 6-2 to the Oilers, or lose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's game 1, if it's game 82, if it's to miss the playoffs, if it's to get kicked out. They have the same look on their face. Every single one of them. And I think that that's where Leafs fans, we get this shit rep in the NHL and in the hockey world. I think it's because people here really fucking care. And it's not to say that other people don't, but people here really care, and they live and they die with it. Maybe too much at times, that's fair. But, when you look out on the ice, and like I think about like the days when, like, this is going to sound stupid, but like, think about like Rosie, who opened the show with us here tonight. Those years when he was on the team and they were losing, or they would lose games, you think about those guys at the end of the game. They were ready to kill somebody. They were ready to go out there and just be pissed off and slam sticks and yell and scream. And it was like emotion that the fans and the city, they would be pissed off that the team was losing, but they'd be like, those guys give a fuck at bare minimum.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're playing for the name on the back of the jersey and not the logo on the front. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
and at
the
this
old
point,
mentality.
Jamie, it almost feels like they barely care about the name on the back. Like the lack of pride that we're seeing feels like they almost don't even care about that.
I know. But yeah, I keep on looking for them to make a move, but they're not going to make a drastic move without the MLSE board getting together. And they're not getting together until January. It's the holidays, let's face it.
That's it. That's a good point. Yep, that's a good point.
I wish the Ballard days, at least he would be doing something. I don't know. I mean, maybe a light Ballard, not the full Ballard experience. But yeah, I mean, he cared, but I don't know. I just think that this team, I mean, I've been a Leaf fan for longer than Joe Bowen has been an announcer. I mean, I remember it, and it's just, we all want to see them win, but I want to see them make the finals before I die, and I'm 52 next year. I mean, I don't.
You got plenty of time left, Jamie. You got plenty of life left, so don't worry.
Positive. I got a 21-month-old son here at home, so he watches with me or tries to.
Yeah.
Maybe in his life.
Look, it's frustrating from all aspects. I mean, we've got you coming on. You call into the show and you're telling us stories about Harold Ballard smacking your shins with his cane. The guy who was on the phone 2 people ago from you, he told me a story, which is amazing that this is happening in the same show, by the way, Jamie. I'm just taking a moment of self-reflection myself here, but we had 2 callers ago. Noah calls in and he told me that when he was 8 years old, his dad showed him a picture today of him getting his Austin Matthews jersey under the Christmas tree when he was 8 years old. And you just called in now and you're telling me about getting your shin smacked by Harold Ballard, and both of you are equally pissed off. Yeah.
I mean, everything. I think right now is worse than the Wayne Gretzky high stick on Doug Gilmour. I think we've hit a new low with what we're watching right now.
You think this is the new low?
I don't. It's up there.
I'll defer to you because, hey, you've been around and you've seen it longer. I experienced, the tanking. I experienced the 2013 loss. I did experience and was a fan of the years with the Muskoka 5 when they refused to leave and missed the playoffs. I experienced all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And though there was frustrating years in there for me as well, but I don't know. I think the one low that it gets swept aside, by the way, just as a side note, I think the one low of the lows was the Montreal year, losing that one. But it is. This is a low moment, Jamie. I'll give you that.
So I don't want to take up too much time, but I just think that something's got to be done. I don't care if it's the whole coaching staff or the GM or moves on the benches. I think you need a little bit of each now. You got to come in and make some token moves and say, as a wake-up call.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll ask you one thing before you go, and I'll let you out of here on this and give you one last chance yourself to answer something before you leave. Do you think, Jamie, that firing Craig Berube is firing Craig Berube and staff is enough of a starting point for this team, or does it need to go deeper than that?
It's got to go deeper. If you get rid of the coaching staff, 1 or 2 of the players also you got to do a token move on, because that only that's gonna because that's just, they have another coach. We'll try a bit and they can do the same thing. Yeah, I know it's easier to get the coaches gone, but at the same time, you can't. It's not gonna fix anything long term.
Yeah,
their mentality will be, if I don't like a coach, we'll tank a bit. Coach will be gone. I'll get a new one. Yeah.
Jamie, I appreciate the call. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate the stories. I appreciate you sharing your opinions and your thoughts on the team. So Thank you for calling in here tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I hope as this show continues, whether it's at some point this season or years down the road, Jamie, whenever it is, you and I get to reconnect, and it's on a much more positive note where we're inching our way closer to a Stanley Cup rather than this here tonight where you declared this, and I think rightfully so, one of the new lows, if not the low of this group.
Yeah, and I got one more. How many fans, if they win a cup, how many fans are going to get that tattooed on themselves? Start that talk. Are you going to get the Leaf logo on a cup tattooed on your arm with the year if they win? I'm sure some will. I might.
Oh, for sure people will. 100% people will. Like, not even a doubt in my mind. I might get something. I don't know about arms. I've got other stuff going on, obviously,
no, but
myself.
I mean,
but somewhere else, for
I don't
sure.
have any, but I'm thinking,
yeah,
that would be.
Yeah, it would be something, Jamie. That would be something. All right.
Well,
thanks for calling in.
Everybody stays positive. All right.
Thanks. You as well. You stay positive. Enjoy the holidays and Merry Christmas to you.
I will. Okay.
There you go. Jamie Richardson jumping on the post game. More callers to get to here tonight. More callers. So let's take the next one here as we continue to rip through. Let's get to Vito. Vito, did I say that right there? Do I got you on the line?
Yeah, you did. Vito, the Don from Markham. How you doing, Zach? First time caller. You guys do a great job, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is the best. We've had some fun or some funny or cool intros on the show, but Vito the Don from Markham, I love that. I'm doing okay. I'll say that. It could be better tonight for sure.
Yeah.
A 4-0 loss to Washington in that pathetic of an effort. It's not fun, Vito. It's not fun.
Very pathetic. So I'm going to go back in history a bit, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
A lot of callers have been talking about how long of a fan they were and so on and so forth. So I can say that I was alive for 3 Toronto Maple Leaf Stanley Cups. However, the one in 1967, I was 4 years old, and I don't remember anything. So I can say I was alive for them, but you know what, man? It's been a long time. 6 decades to be exact, okay? So going to my first Gardens game in 1970, my favorite player was Dave Keon. So that's how far back I go. Okay. And you can count on your hands the amount of good teams that we've seen since then. And I'm just going to recap really quickly. It was basically the 1979 Leafs against the Islanders with Lenny McDonald's famous goal, against Chico Resch. Then you can go to the 90s Dougie and Wendell team, which was a phenomenal team. I was in LA at the Forum for that series. Phenomenal team. The Pat Quinn era, 2000s. Okay, excellent teams, conference finals twice. Now let's get to 2014. 10 years of phenomenal talent on this team. Probably the most talent that we've ever had that I can remember, going back to 1970, all in one pot. And we're talking 10 years after the fact about how this team is still learning to win. Like, there's something seriously wrong. Yep. 10 years, and you hear guys, when they lose series in the playoff round, talking about, oh, we didn't execute. Like, listen, even tonight, we didn't execute. We got to be better. Guys, it's the core. It's 10 years of this same stuff. When are you going to learn? It's 10 years is up. If you haven't learned by now, you'll never get it. This team, that core, should have been blown up after the Habs series. That loss to the Habs, something should have been done. They would have had the control to deal Marner at that time, or Wheelie at that time, and they failed to do it because they kept going back to the pot. And so this is where we are today. How honestly, can you see this team compete against Colorado, even if they make the playoffs? Colorado, Vegas, Dallas, any of those teams?
No.
This is the worst situation we've been in 10 years, right? This is the worst situation we've been in 10 years. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, you got to look at, listen, I'm a diehard and, I'll stick up for my team and everything, but I've had it with that core. I mean, the only guy that I'll give a little bit of leeway to is Tavares because, 35 years old, he took a friendly discount. He produced at the beginning of the season, but I'm sorry. Matthews, and listen, I was a huge Matthews, I go to bat. We were talking about how Matthews was comparable to McDavid a few years back. As a matter of fact, we thought defensively, Austin Matthews was a better two-way player. I mean, you could argue that. But now, if somebody said to me, hey, Matthews or McDavid, it's like hands down McDavid. There's no question about it. So, I don't know. Yeah. I've given, not that I've given up on this team, but my expectations is nada, completely nada going forward. They've got to do something big now.
Yes. And that's kind of what Jamie was just saying as well, right? Like it's time for something big to happen here too. Look, Vito, I'm with you. Every single thing you just laid out there, I can't disagree with anything you've just said. From the point about the talent on this group to how long it's taken, where they're still learning to win, as they continue to say. It's embarrassing to continue to hear 10 years into it, learning lessons. We've learned our lesson. We learned tonight. Fucking stop learning. One of my best friends went to fucking undergrad for 9 years, man. That guy finished before you learned how to learn, or to learn how to win. That guy we were making fun of for being in university for so long, and he figured it out before you did. How are we at this point? And I just look at them not being able to figure out how to win, making these stupid mistakes that we all look at, and everybody knows you can't be doing the little things to buy in to winning hockey games, to committing to playing with each other, the mistakes of not trading the guys when you had the opportunities to, and pigeonholing yourselves into the contracts and all of it. It's all been a complete gong show that's led you to this point. And it feels, unfortunately, Vito, like the only way out of this, one way or the other, whether it's Gavin McKenna or Stanley Cup this season, and again, I think you're closer to Gavin McKenna than the Stanley Cup, but as you just laid out for us right there, it's something drastic. Like, you're going nuts here on something, and it's boom or bust. The thing is working or it's not, and I'd rather almost be in that position than this middle ground of 6 good games and you're pushing for a playoff spot, and then 5 bad games and you're a point above Buffalo. What are we doing, Vito?
Well, listen. What about Boston? Take a look at Boston, for example. Look at all the talent that they lost over the last 3, 4, or 5 years, and they still find a way with that determination and the way they play to kick butt, or at least compete. They're always competing. They're not getting their asses kicked. They're playing decent hockey. You can go back in history with Leaf teams that barely made the playoffs, and they won a couple of rounds not with the crap teams, but they may have had maybe 1 or 2 top players on that team leading that team, and they still would win. I remember the 80s, when the 80s was a joke, but I remember guys like Russ Courtnall and Gary Lehman and those guys with Reggett in net and Bester in net, and those guys, they'd sweep Chicago. They weren't expected to beat them, but they had the heart, they had the determination. This team's got no heart. They've got no heart to the core, and that's the problem. I would rather have a team go out there and lay it all out on the line. And like you said, you're going to lose your games, man. You're going to lose games.
Yep.
But if you lay it out on the line, I can accept that loss. But tonight, I fell asleep almost watching that game. That was a repeat of the Chicago game, less 100%. The third period. Okay, yeah. I turned the game in the third period during that Chicago game and was watching on my phone, and I laughed. I said, you know what? I got to turn the game off a little bit more often. It's a joke.
Yeah,
It's a joke.
It's fair. That's actually a good point too. Like, this was the same thing that we just saw against Chicago.
Exactly.
But it so happens that Washington is a really good team and Chicago is a young team figuring shit out, and you just had enough skill to overcome it in the late moments of a game where they made some mistakes and you took advantage of them. It's a good point.
We beat the Chicago American Hockey League team basically the other night. You know, like, I mean, you don't have Bedard there, and you lay an egg like that after the Joe Bowen scenario. It's just ridiculous. You know, I mean, it's like you said, and all the other callers said, the effort is pathetic, man. Like, they're playing shinny hockey. They're playing fishing with their sticks. When are you going to hit a guy? When is somebody going to take a guy out in their own zone? Maybe Benoit does it. McCabe does it. Who in the hell of the forwards lays a hit?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you're in the offensive zone, and instead of flattening the guy in the back of the boards, you skate away. Finish your check. Yeah. And this is what this team is missing. They don't have that DNA that they're talking about. That's missing in action, man. MIA. That's what it should be, not DNA. It's ridiculous.
That's a good point. It's funny, but it's a good point. And I mean, Vito, like, to your point, I don't know how much other people are seeing. I don't know how much you're seeing maybe necessarily, but you're talking about the DNA. You just brought that up, and like the character and all that kind of stuff. And these guys stepping up to the plate. You know, you want to know how evident it is, and it's something people in the chat here a lot of times in the post game will push back on me for. And again, I say it over and over. I'm not looking for Austin Matthews to put somebody through the glass. That's not what he's going to do, but you know, it's having a response and being engaged or getting pissed off or whatever. And I look at, because a lot of people push back and say, like, you really want him to do that? That's what you want him to do? He's not that kind of player. You want him to score goals. Well, you know, go look at the San Jose Sharks. Last week, Macklin Celebrini watched his teammate get hit with I'm not going to call it a dirty hit. Let's just call it like a borderline hit, right? Maybe it's dirty, maybe it's not, but his teammate goes down injured. Macklin Celebrini, who's 19 years old and his second year in the NHL, jumps the guy. Yeah. He doesn't fight him. His gloves don't come off, but he jumps the guy, grabs the guy. He's wrestling him around, whatever. And it's like, that's a 19-year-old kid showing a response, showing the emotion. Think about Sidney Crosby. And I'm not trying to say Sidney Crosby was fighting in his early years, but remember like how pissed he would get, whether it was at opposing players and the chirping he would have going back and forth, the battles he'd have in the corners in front of the net, guys pushing him around and him just saying, fuck you, I'm not going to get pushed around. These guys don't have that. You know, Vito, you talk about the Montreal series, the one lasting image, there are two lasting images. One is Mitch flipping the puck over the glass, and then the photo of him in the penalty box with like the sad like little kid look on his face. Yep. And the other is Austin Matthews getting dragged around by Ben Sherratt and smiling. That drove me up a wall, and those moments should have been the ones that this organization, the MLSE brass, Shanahan, Dubas, all these guys should have known and realized right then and there, that DNA you're talking about, it's just not there. It's not there.
And let me ask you one other thing. Out of all the series that those guys lost, that they lost, how much emotion did you see after the series from any of those guys being pissed off? Did you see any of the guys just slamming something or get nasty with a reporter or whatever? Nada. Nothing. Nothing.
Vito, you know what made it worse that I always lost my mind about? And it was both sides. So Toronto always gets the rap. Nobody wants to play for this media. You know what questions those guys were asked? And I'm not saying they need to be like interrogated. Trust me, I'm not saying that. But the media was asking them. Our media, I know, I've met a lot of these guys. They're like the nicest people. They go in there and they're like, what'd you make of the game tonight? It's like, well, you blew a fucking 4-1 lead in game 7. Like, and they're like, what'd you make of the game? What happened out there? And then people are like, this media is crazy. And then Vito, you know the answers those guys gave every time? Well, you know, the bounces didn't go our way. We were doing the right things. It's like, no, you weren't. You got your shit pumped in game 7 on home ice. You weren't. Admit it. I always think about Nate, and again, it's like thinking about other people around the league and trying to think that these guys are like this. But I brought it up. The year before Colorado won the Stanley Cup, Nathan McKinnon was asked in a post-game press conference, and you just said, you know, snapping on reporters. Obviously, you want guys to be respectful or whatever, but sometimes it's okay. You know, Nathan McKinnon
Yeah.
went up there. I remember it. He was asked about his legacy in the league, and he's like, my fucking legacy? I haven't won. Like,
Exactly.
who cares? And then he went out the next
Exactly.
year and won the Stanley Cup. And it's just like those things stick in my mind because our
Exactly.
guys here, they've never had that, and they never will.
And you know what else really pissed me off? I think it was last year or whatever. When they started calling the fans noise. We can't listen to the noise. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
The noise. You call us the most supporting fans across the league, maybe even in sport. You call us noise. That really hit a nerve with me. I'm sorry, man. We're noise.
I'm with you.
We're the ones that put the money in your pocket, buddy. And I've never seen any other Leaf team refer to their fans like that. Pretty sad. That just goes to show you who they are. I mean, it's sad. I mean, I hate to be talking about this team like that because I'm a huge fan. But I'm telling you, man, it's starting to hit my nerve pretty hard now.
Yeah, that's the thing I was saying too. Like, it gets hard right now to root for this team. You know, like, obviously we want the team to do well. Like, we cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I'm talking about the collection of players representing the team. You know, it gets to a point where it's like, it gets a little bit frustrating. I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to watch every game.
But you
I'm
have
still
to be
gonna support,
realistic.
But it gets hard. Yes.
But you have to be realistic, right? Like,
yes,
I mean,
100%.
You know, when the Leafs lost to Washington in the first series, okay, and when they made the playoffs, what a great, like, I felt fantastic, even though they lost in 6.
Yes.
That was probably one of the best series that they played. I mean, they played a hell of a series for a young group of guys. I thought to myself, man, it's not if we're going to win the Stanley Cup. We might win a couple of Stanley Cups if these guys continue growing. But what a bunch of ballerinas. That's what they are now, is ballerinas. It really hurts.
It does hurt. Vito, this was a hell of a call, buddy. This was a fucking hell of a call. I had a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this. It made me feel better to relive this and rehash this and get this out. So many people in this chat right now have enjoyed this call as well. So this was your first one, but I sure as hell hope it wasn't your last. I appreciate it. I hope to hear from you again soon. And I hope some way you can enjoy the rest of your night and this weekend with the goddamn doubleheader this team has coming up. Vito, thank you very much, man.
Hey, pleasure was all mine, and I've been watching you and Rosie for the last little while, and I've subscribed a little while back, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to get on there tonight because there's a lot of pain in the chat. So now you know how far back my pain goes. So don't forget Vito the Don, and I'll be back, okay?
Vito the Don, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for the support as well, by the way.
Hey, no problem. And I think you probably let me go past 5 minutes, so I might have to owe you some cash there. So it'll be coming.
All right. Thanks, Vito. This was a good call. Thank you. All right.
Okay,
enjoy
ciao.
your night. There you go. Vito the Don jumping on the post game here. That was a fun call. Look, I mean, reliving misery itself is not fun, but hearing from Vito, hearing his thoughts, all that kind of stuff, that sure as hell was enjoyable. So thank you to Vito for calling in here. That is greatly appreciated. We got more callers to get to. We got more super chats that I got to acknowledge. We got more smelling salts that I got to do. This thing is going for a little bit here. So I want to jump in and throw some other things around while I just quickly remind people, make sure to subscribe here. Leaf Station 401 right here on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But let's get to our best bets of the night. Our best bet segment is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use promo code NATION. That's NATION. Promo code NATION. NATION. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you're someone who knows a gambling problem, visit connectsontario.ca. Okay, taking a look here at our best bets for the night just quickly. We had 2, so we went 1 for 2 on the night. I'm glad we're at least like winning something right now because there was a long period of time where it was an absolute heater of a battle basically every single night. to get anything through the uprights. I think we lost 21 straight before getting to the point that we're at right now, where we've at least won like 2 of our last 5 best bets. So Nylander, anytime goal, that one loses. But Jake McCabe, over 2.5 blocked shots. I don't know why that one came to my mind, and I was like, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with Jake McCabe. But, I mean, like, the 2.5 block shots, I saw it on the screen. I saw it at plus 120. There was part of my brain that was like, this dumb team is going to give up the most shots ever. They're going to give up the most opportunities ever. It just felt like Washington was going to fucking pepper it on the Maple Leafs tonight. And sure as hell, opening out of the gates, like Jake McCabe, I think, had 2 block shots in the first period, which at that point was like, okay, I think we're going to do this, because it felt good about that. But we blow past our expectations at this point. 21 straight losses. We finally had won in game 31, where Hildeby has over 25.5 saves, profits us 50. We lose then on the other side, 50 on a John Tavares anytime goal. So we negate it. We just keep at even. And then we go here tonight. We lose 50 on the Nylander goal, but we win 60 on a Jake McCabe over 2.5 blocked shots. So shout out to Jake McCabe for getting us out of that one. Appreciate Jake McCabe for getting things in line. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not been the prettiest with the best bets. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get us out of it. I'm trying to clean things up. But yeah, I mean, it's not been great. Our record on the season right now is 12-37-1, and we are down 5.8 units. So it's a tough go. It's a tough go, but we'll continue to get to more callers on the show here tonight. Reminder, show as always, a presentation of Bet365. Thanks to our friends at Bet365 for sticking with us and being here, and I'm sure they're probably pretty happy with what's going on and how poor the performances have been from myself on the Bet365 best bets here on the show. We do have more callers. I'm still going here tonight. We've got about 600 people watching, 367 likes. So that means I got to do 3 more sets of smelling salts. That would be 7 total. I've done 4 right now, so I got 3 more minimum to go. And I got callers to get to here as well. So we'll keep this thing going. We will limit the Prague call. He's going to call in a bit, but we're going to limit the Prague call. But we will have people on here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Keep liking. Let's get to 400 likes. Why not? Here's the smelling salts. Also, by the way, over $850 raised tonight. Here's the smelling salts. And reminder, proceeds from our super chat do go to Sick Kids Charity. So you keep those oh shit. Sorry. You keep those super chats coming in. You got questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, all of that. I will answer and read all the super chats that come through. A ton that have made their way in here tonight. Tom Robbins, have to go to bed. So frustrating with this game. Tell Rosie I'd love a signed jersey. Tom, you have raised so much money for Sick Kids tonight. You've donated so much money for Sick Kids tonight. I will see what I can try to do for you. I will see what I can try to do for you. Thank you for the super chats and the participation. More callers. We're not done, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Thursday night. It is 11:53, but this is a YouTube show. That's the beauty of it. My roommates, my girlfriend, maybe not the happiest that this thing just continues to roll on, but nonetheless, this is the show of the people. This is what we're here for. We're here for the calls. We're here for Leafs fans. You want to vent. You want to yell. You want to tell me about Harold Ballard. You want to tell me about your Christmas jersey or your Matthews jersey at Christmas when you were 8. I don't give a fuck. Tell me about all of it. It's all for you guys. This is what it's all about. The Leafs fans, Leafs Nation, giving your thoughts here on the postgame show. Call in, donate, comment. I don't give a shit. Do it all. You're all part of the show. That's what it's built on. That's what it's all about. Let's get to the next caller that we've got on the line here. Let's go to Liam. Liam, do I have you there?
Hey, Zach, how's it going? I'm here.
It's going all right. I think one thing that people in the chat and callers may not realize, but like I've realized over time, is that the more you guys call in and give your thoughts, and the more you guys in the chat give your opinion, and we get to go back and forth, this kind of works like a therapy session for me. Like I come on here 2 hours ago, my head's exploding, I've got smoke coming out of my ears, my face is going red, and I still might be doing some of that, but to a lesser degree, Liam. So I feel a bit better in general. I've gotten it out, but I'm just happy to get to hear from other Leafs fans and hear their opinions.
Well, it makes sense. And first of all, it's hard to follow Vito. I think Vito needs his own show on the Fan 590 or
Vito was
another
awesome.
network, because Vito is the man. But anyways, first-time caller, a long-time listener. I've got two takes here, one around Matthews and one around Tree Living. I would say for Matthews, I would just say I feel like we're cooked. The fact it's been 5 months over the summer and he's come back not looking like himself. I think those stats that Mike Johnson was putting around on Overdrive the other day around his speed, I think are so telling. I was looking myself tonight, and it's just crazy. In 2022, he was in like the 90th percentile for like every skating speed, and now he's like every single skating like statistic that's on NHL Edge, he's in the bottom, like below 50%, because they don't want to embarrass him. I feel like it's just like super telling. Like if you just look at like that alone, like there's no way he's healthy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Liam. I mean, to kind of go off this point, this is where like I put out a picture of that graphic on Twitter the other day, and I said in it, this is not a line mate, because implying a lot of people saying his points and everything and his production has dropped off because of Mitch Marner. And I'm like, okay, some of that maybe, some of his production may have changed. And then also looking at the Berube thing, a lot of people say it's the coach, it's the style, that's why he's doing this. But where I disagree, Liam, is the points you just brought up. It's the speed, it's the shot, it's the burst, it's the tempo he plays at, it's the physicality he plays with. They're all lacking. Like, all of that is lacking from what he normally brings to the game. Like, I can't fathom a drop-off in all of those categories and in his overall play and his overall point production that doesn't correlate with an injury. I just can't justify in my head he just got bad overnight like that. Like, that's the only thing I just can't wrap my head around. It seems like there's some big injury that this guy's dealing with right now.
Yeah, and it really points me towards like a situation like Eichel had in Buffalo potentially, where there's like a potential injury going on. And I just think the connection to the Olympics and the Four Nations and the fact the Leafs were good last year, I can't help but think that like potentially he avoided surgery or something like that because he didn't want to miss the Olympics.
I'm with you 100%. The only thing producer Vic poked a hole in, because him and I talked about this, and he brought up a fair point, but like, I just wonder if the injury that he's maybe dealing with is too significant. But like, to your point, I wonder if he went into the season last year and was like, okay, this is worse than anticipated. But if I do get this, like, goes to Germany, that mysterious trip out of nowhere, he goes to Germany and they tell him it's going to be this big, long procedure. You're going to miss X amount of time. And he says, okay, it's mid-season. I'm not going to do this now because I'm going to be out for a long period of time in the regular season. And B, as you brought up, I'll miss the Four Nations. So he says, okay, I'll battle through. They tell him, hey, maybe, you know what? It's not going to make it worse. It's not going to be great, but you'll lack in this area, this area, this area, but you're not going to get worse. Like, it's not going to hurt you long-term more. And he says, okay, fuck it. I'll play. I'll deal with it. And he gets through the end of the season. And so now the point Vic brought up was, if it was something that he chose not to do last year because he was he wanted to play in the Four Nations, then why didn't he do it in the offseason when he had the time? And that's kind of where it stumps me a little bit, where I start to wonder if this is something that maybe just can never be fixed. But I also kind of thought about that. The only other thing is I wonder if this is something that takes him out for a long time. Like, I wonder if this is like a miss a year kind of thing, where it's not a 5-6 month recovery. It's like a 10-month recovery, a 12-month recovery, and he misses a season. And he looked at that Olympic checkbox and he said, I need to get that, and then I'll deal with this after. I wonder, again, tinfoil hat, Liam, but I wonder if that's where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going as well with it. And I would say just to have one other comment, and then I'll hang up. But I would say my other take is just like, if you're Keith Pelly right now going into the trade deadline and you think that the team's not going to be buyers and you think we're going to be selling, how do you give Tree Living the keys to make any decision about this team when he was the one that traded for Brendan Carlo, which might end up being worse than the Seguin Dougie Hamilton return in terms of the impact of the players that went the other way? How can you give True Living the keys to then trade Carlo again? There's no way True Living can swallow his pride and trade Carlo again after he gave up Minton in a first. That, by the way, if we finish in the bottom 6th to 13th, is going to be a very impactful player in this draft coming up. So I'll hang up now, but thanks again. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, Liam. And I mean, as he's gone there, it's a good call. It's a good point. It is the one thing I wonder too. Like, there's an element of concern here with Tree Living being the one running this, where if you're looking at the guy and saying, is he going to make move, or wondering if he's going to make moves out of desperation. We've seen the rumors that the Maple Leafs are linked to guys like Rasmus Anderson. We've seen the rumors that the Maple Leafs are linked to, the Alex Tucks of the world, or you name it. They're in on the guy somehow. They've called, they've checked availability, whatever. Do you really trust this team enough? Do you trust that Auston Matthews is healthy enough or in enough of a position to be able to contribute, to be able to push the team over to the top? Do you trust that the team is a competitive enough group to be able to win anything seriously? Do you want to go and add to these guys? Do you want to mortgage future to this group? If it was this same group and Auston Matthews was playing out of his mind right now, I would argue, yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you want to get the best out of Auston Matthews. Maybe you want to make the most of a 35-year-old JT and a Nylander who can go up and down, and you'll take your swing because you think you can fix the rest of the bottom 6 or your defense or there's little pieces. And I would say yes. But I look at a Nylander who goes like this to this to this to this, and then you watch Matthews who he's there and he can produce and he's leading the team in goals, but he's not like the guy he used to be. And you wonder, is it really worth supporting and getting behind these guys? I just don't want Tree Living to do a save my job type move. I don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that. We got 2 more callers on the line. Before we get to the next caller here, reminder, keep liking, keep subscribing. Over 550 people watching the post game right now. 380 likes. Let's get to 400. That would be 8 sets of smelling salts. We've done 5. I think I need to do 2 more here on the post game. So this will be 6, and then we'll have to do 7. And then if we get to 400, that'll be 8. But this is number 6 on the night. And then after this, we only have 1 more. So thank you to everybody who's watched, liked, subscribed, all of it. Here's another set of smelling salts. All right. Thank you. Also, just quickly before, actually not even quickly because this is fucking massive. Another super chat. A major super chat. Vito the Don. Veets. Vito says he's been watching the show for a long time. He's been following me, following Rosie, following the Leafs channel, this Leafs channel for a long time, which I greatly appreciate. And then he calls in and he drops one of the biggest banger of a phone calls we've ever had on the post-game show. Just firing up on the After Dark, giving his thoughts, opinions, taking us back in the day, bringing us back to 2015, 16, getting these guys their first years here to now where we're at when we're still learning, taking us through the entire journey, It It was an amazing phone call, amazing passion brought to us by Vito. And then he gets off the call, his first time calling in, where he goes A-plus performance, bats 1,000. Like, he basically stepped up and hit for the cycle. And he gets off. He might as well have come out of the dugout and given a salute back to the crowd, because the man donates $140 to the Super Chats after. We have raised over $1,000 on the post-game show here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to know why Leafs Nation is so insane and why it's so strong and why it gets the rap it does? Is because it's this fucking powerful. It's game 33 of the regular season on a Thursday night against the Washington Capitals, as we're like a week away from Christmas. And all of you psychos, and I say that in the best way possible because I'm here with you, riding the same emotion. I just get in front of a camera and scream about it, but you guys are right here with me, donating over $1,000 to Sick Kids charity. Proceeds going to Sick Kids. There's almost 400 likes here on the post game. You hit 20,000 subscribers. We've had like 15 phone calls on the post game. Rosie came on and yelled for an hour. Like, this is what Leafs Nation is all about. There is no team in the NHL. There is no other fan base who's putting on a post game show like this. Win, lose, the goods, the bads, it doesn't matter. Nobody else is riding and dying with the team the way that you guys are. So no matter what happens, the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, it doesn't matter. You guys are right there. And I can't thank you guys enough, because if it's not for you guys, I don't have this job, and it's a fucking dream job. So thank you. I appreciate it. And Vito, thank you for the super chat. He says, Zach, you the man, Vito the Don. No, Vito, you the man. Everybody in the chat agreed as well. Vito is the man. That was a good call. Let's keep this thing rolling. We've got a lot to get to still on the post-game show. We got more segments. We got more callers. With that, let's get to our next guy here. I love the title, too, on the next caller. Brett from San Diego. Like, everyone else comes in here and they just send their names, and we've got Brett from San Diego. What's up, Brett?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. I'd just like to say that I grew up in San Jose during the Thornton and Pavelski years and stopped following hockey pretty much after 2016. Started following the Leafs seriously this year after watching playoff series with some of my buddies over the past couple of years. And to be honest, I don't know how you guys have tolerated this.
Brett, I don't know either, man, but I'm still here.
Yeah, I mean, and props to Leafs Nation for staying loyal, but it's just clear that the leadership issues on this team run deeper than just one single issue. Like, it feels like I'm watching season 7 of Jersey Shore where everybody just fucking hates each other, shows up and gets paid, you know?
Honestly, that is a pretty good analogy. It does kind of feel like that. Like, when Rosie was on earlier, I asked him, like, you know, is it possible these guys just don't like each other? And he's like, yeah, it's possible, but more so like they don't love each other or whatever. But, you know, that is a good point. Like, these guys just show up here. They just get paid. They don't care about each other, get the money, do their job, go on the ice, go home. That's it. That's the extent of it.
Yeah. And I mean, I know everyone is asking this, but what can you really do at this point? You know, do you buy or sell given the situation that the team is in with picks?
My personal opinion, Brett, is that you change the coach and the staff, and I'm not blaming this on them, but I think you change them, and if nothing changes after that, then it's time to start selling off. You don't add to this group. That's the last thing you do. I think what you do is you change the staff, hope that new voices, new systems, a new outlook comes in here, gives a fresh appeal, maybe gives something nice, gives this team something nice to look for. And then if that doesn't change anything, if it doesn't change the output, if it doesn't change the mindset, then you start to sell off. But you do not go and add to this group right away.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I don't know. One thing I wanted to bitch about, too, is the first power play unit, because it's just absolutely awful watching that. You know, watching Matthews try and quarterback. And even when they tried to shift tonight, it just did not work at all. The only bright spot in the power play unit came from the second team.
Oh, 100%. The one unit that we watched, I can't even remember. There's 5 power plays. Like, at some point, they started to blend together. It might have been the 4th power play that the Leafs had. I just don't remember what period it was in. I just remember watching the power plays go back to the own zone the whole time. But the second unit started the power play. And on the broadcast, they were like, I think it was the third period. On the second unit starts it, and they said, this is a good opportunity for them. Like, get the puck, possess the puck, and like let's see what the second unit could do. Now,
didn't they keep it for an entire minute?
They kept it for an entire minute. They were moving it around. They were getting chances. They were moving their feet. They turned it over one time. Washington sends it back to the Leaf zone, and they go for a change. The second group, Brett, came onto the ice, and in a span of 35 seconds, turned the puck over 3 times and had to regroup from their own zone 3 times. It's pathetic. Like Austin Matthews, William Nylander, John Tavares, Matthew Knies, Morgan Riley, there's enough money and talent and name brand value at bare minimum on that unit that you should at least be able to enter the zone, Brett, let alone set up and make something happen. Pathetic.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And, you bring up Matthews. The speed statistic is damning.
It's alarming.
Because, I mean, I'm watching somebody who's supposed to be able to score 70 fucking goals in a season. And I'm watching somebody, it looks like morning skate. Really. There's no effort. He just swats his stick when lets somebody go through the neutral zone, and when he's on offense, no forecheck, no physicality on the boards, and he just takes a swat at any puck in that comes toward the crease, and that's his way of getting goals. It's awful, embarrassing.
It is, and I want to give him the excuse personally, because I feel like we've seen it from him at least where he can do it. Like, I want to give him the excuse that this is an injury thing. But then it's like at the same time, the frustrating part comes back in my brain where I'm like, well, why is he dealing with this? Why don't you get this solved? Like, why don't you find some way to get this dealt with? And then on the other hand, okay, if it can't be dealt with, that sucks. Like, let's call it what it is. It sucks, but he's still a good player. Then it becomes up to management, Brett, because at that point, I think Leafs fans would understand, this guy has a debilitating back injury and he's battling through it and there's no solution. If they came out and they told us that or implied it, Leafs fans would be like, respect. Like, fucking, you're a warrior for going out there and playing that way. Because you know what, Brett? He's probably still going to get 80 points. He's going to score 35 to 40 goals. And if that's the case, then Leafs fans would applaud that. But they're hiding whatever it is that he's dealing with, which I still want to give him the credit that he is. They won't tell us. They're pretending like nothing's going on. And then, Brett, the next part of it, the follow-up to all of this becomes, if they knew this, if Brad Treliving knew this, if Keith Pelly knew this, if name whoever the fuck you want in MLSE knew this, this is a failure by them for not insulating the player with another star player. Because if you knew Austin Matthews was not going to be able to be Austin Matthews of 2 years ago before you went into the season and you went in just anticipating things were going to be sunshine and rainbows, you're fucking lost. That's what you are. And that is a failure by them if they knew that he couldn't get back to that level and they didn't support him by adding pieces around him. Because I believed he could get back to the level or close to that he was before last season. And if he could, this team would be in a much different spot than they are right now, December 18th, Brett.
Agreed. I mean, I think it's entirely possible. He's got some kind of injury going on. I think that most of the guys on the team that have a chance on the Olympic rosters are saving themselves. I don't think they really give a shit. And I also think Berube's lost the locker room. So I think it's really a perfect storm. And then also at the same time, like what you said, you don't have the Leafs organization being public with, even Stolar's injury, Stolar's injury and Matthews as well. And it's just this weird sort of reality show nightmare that you guys have to live where it's just constant speculation about,
you saying
what
guys
could be going
is
on.
pissing me off. You know a lot about this team and you're just throwing this on us, you guys. It's like you're absolved of this nonsense. You're like, no, I got Macklin Celebrini, I got superstar young kids coming up. It's you guys who dealing with this. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the fuck? Every time you say you guys, it's another dagger going in. But I understand what you're saying, Brett. I understand the sentiment. You got anything else for me here tonight?
Just hope Prague keeps it clean and hoping for a good night. Punching out.
Thank you. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate it. There you go. Brett from San Diego jumping on. Another good call. I mean, everybody who's called in here tonight, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for calling in, for the support on the show. Thank you for sending the super chats. We're 7 away from 400 likes here on the post game. We've got over $1,000 donated here tonight on the post-game show. I mean, between Mike Fammy and Tom Robson and Tammy and Maxentius and Little Willie, PSF1, who just donated $100 after $100 after $100. I think PSF1 donated a total of like $400 here tonight. Jeremiah, Nate Dogg, thank you guys. Ben Austin, Bill Coyote, Langley's. Thank you guys all for donating. Chopsticks here. Chopsticks with the super chat, by the way. 6 1/3, the cat burglar from Liberty Village. Chopsticks has sent before and always accused 6 1/3 as being somebody from Liberty Village, which is a pretty hilarious concept. Because I think it's known Alberga and I are from the Liberty Village area, which would mean that we would bump shoulders with 6 1/3 at some point, or could bump shoulders with them. Mike Fammy also with the super chat here. Mike says, we're about to lose a great coach because these fucking soft players don't want to play with heart, passion, or have any dog in them. How many coaches does this team have to go through? I mean, look, Mike, one thing I will say is the Leafs have gone through less coaches than the Oilers, than the Capitals did before they won. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, Bednar was with Colorado from the shit days till they won. Coop was with Tampa from like the not so great days till they won. I don't really know if there was other teams that are as successful that you could look at and be like, well, they had more coaches, but like the concept is still there. But the one thing I'll agree with, it does very much feel like we are in a position here right now where this team has given up on the coach and is playing fire the coach hockey. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like they're playing fire the coach hockey. Cats and Rats, great night on Postgame. How it works in content world doesn't always match up with the on-ice product. That's what makes it fun. Cats and Rats, appreciate you. Thank you for being here through the entire show. Fun is an interesting word. I have fun because I love my job. It's not necessarily fun watching this team and then having to be mad about it for 2.5 hours. But yep, I am with you on that at least. One more like until we get to 400 as well. Let me get to like number 7. I wanna get to that. Or like the Smelling Salts number 7 for the 7th one for 350. We're 1 away from 400 here. When we do that, we'll do the 8th. But for now, here's 7. We'll continue the post-game show here tonight. All right. As well, if you haven't already, subscribe here to the channel, Leafs Nation 401, right here on YouTube. We've been going at this for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Thank you for the participation and for not leaving. Thank you to everybody who's liked the stream here tonight. Thanks to all the people who have donated and called in. Thank you all. I mean, the support is just unbelievable. But at this point, we've gotten about 70 subscribers, I think, since the show started. I'll have to double check, but we're approximately 70 subscribers higher than we were before the show started here today. It might be actually more, but if you're watching right now, Leafs Nation 401, and you haven't already, like the stream and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching and you can't subscribe and you're sitting there and you're on a unlogged in account, make an account and subscribe to the channel. Please and thank you. One of the things that I did to kick this whole thing off was I said that if we got 250 likes and we got $200 donated, Prague's 3-game suspension would be lifted on bail. Even at that, I was like, I don't know. It's game 3. Do we really want to let Prague out on bail? Do we really want to let that happen? Should we uphold the suspension? Should we uphold the sanctity of the podcast and keep Prague off? This guy said Timothy Liljegren would save the team. Should we let this guy on? You guys have sent in over $1,000 in super chats. We've hit over 400, which I'll do it again. Over 400 likes for the smelling salts, which is there is number 8. So with that, I have no choice but to bring on the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who I might climb through the screen and fight at some point here on the show tonight, Prague. Prague, do we got you there?
What up?
Oh, there we go. What an entrance. Prague, what's up, man? How you doing? Have you learned your lesson from your suspension? Let's start with that.
I still believe in Liljegren. Anyways.
Okay.
No.
Well, it's
Okay,
good to
so
know
what-
that 3 games worked. Continue.
I think I'm just like, because I've seen how many GMs we've had, how many, like, I don't care how many coaches we have. I don't give a shit, right? I've just seen the same thing happen year in, year out for decades. Like, literally, I told you, Wendell Clark's rookie season was what made me a hardcore fan.
Yep.
I've watched more than 95% of the games since, like either listened to it or whatever, even when I've lived in other countries that didn't have the internet capabilities that were great. But my thing about tonight is we've seen this. This is a repeat. They have quit on Berube. They quit
Yes, they
on
have.
Berube. And the thing is, everybody wants to say Berube is a great coach. But I'm looking at somebody who came in from Mike Yeo, who was doing shit with, like, if you remember St. Louis Blues during the 2010s, they were considered a cup contender. They destroyed us every fucking time. And they got an ECHL goalie named Bennington, who went on a run. They were in last place, great. And they won. Wonderful. Then they won one more series in the next 3 years. And then didn't lot out of the playoffs and got fired into the next season sometime. Who's our Alex Pietrangelo? Like, I'm just saying, when I look at what we did, we started off with great forwards, but we never finished off. If you look at the teams that go deep, Chicago, Blackhawks, who did they have to trade off after they won their first cup? Dustin Byfuglien, a couple of the captains from Winnipeg. Like, they
Andrew
had
Ladd.
players that we
Not,
could dream of. There's a couple, what's her, V, starts with V, he played for the Leafs. They
Versteeg.
trade off, huh?
Versteeg.
Yeah, Versteeg, that's it.
Yeah, Versteeg,
I love him, but, like,
Boland. Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't we didn't sign Boland. Oh my God, that was...
Anyways.
But like I'm saying,
yes,
we jump-started everything. We thought, okay, we have these 3 players. Now we can do whatever the fuck we want. And I'm like, no, you can't. We were trading for that Montreal third-line center for a second pick. We were trying for Brian Boyle, all these other bloody players. Morgan Riley has never been more than maybe a power play 1, but second pair at best.
yep.
I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 teams in this league who might have a worse defense. Like, I mean, in terms of age, injuries, and whatever else. Like, we've gotten lucky. Like, last year was, like, we got somebody who's 32, 35, and we knew that anytime that Tanev could go get hurt. We knew that OEL, I love him, but who's coming up to replace him? He gets hurt tomorrow. What the hell do we do? So, like, I'm looking at the team as a whole. This is the deepest forward group we've had.
Yeah.
But every time they traded during that last decade, or even before, they were trading for character players who were often injured, who often were tough, veteran, whatever. We need scoring. We always needed scoring.
No,
It
no,
was
no, no.
never-
This is where I'll disagree with you. This is where I'll disagree with you. The part of the problem and why they went and traded for those guys is because they needed to make up the lack of character and the lack of toughness and the lack of grit and the lack of heart and the lack of care that was in the guys that were leading from the front in Matthews, Nylander, and Marner. They needed to make up for that because those three guys who they put on the pedestal, the management, the organization put them on the pedestal to lead this thing. They didn't have it, so they had to make up for it by going and finding the other guys who could bring that. I'm not interested in having like the grit and character debate because at the end of the day, like teams need to have
What did
that.
ROR
Every
do?
single team. What
did Ryan O'Reilly do for us? Achari, did we win something? We traded
No,
away
but they-
great characters. We traded away Kadri. Why? Because we listened to these idiots who were.
I'm not saying, dude. They didn't trade. Okay, look, I also think that was a terrible trade.
Nobody
in
advanced
but
stats
Prague
liked Kerfoot or fucking what's his name, Barry.
Okay, neither. I didn't like the trade either. So look, I'm not
And we were
defending
saying
that trade. But you
we were
just
saying
said
trade Riley before we signed him to this 8-year contract because we're like he's not worth
yes.
7.5 million even at that time.
Yes.
But you know what? Compared to Darnell Nurse getting 9.25 or 9.5, we're like, thank God. But we're still like, trade him. He has value around the thing. That's what everybody was trying to say out of the. Like, even last year when I was saying, you know what made me so pissed off was hearing we're playing like a top team. We had great defense. Our possession numbers were in the shit. We got caved in every game. Now imagine playing like we got caved in by San Jose last year. We got caved in every game we played against them. Against Chicago, we got caved. They had more shots. One of the ways you tell to winning team is shot attempts, not just shots on goal.
Sure. If that was the case, Carolina would win the Stanley Cup every year.
No, they do shot attempts. The problem with Carolina is first of all, they don't have deep enough scoring depth, but also the one thing I would disagree with Rod Binder more is he shoots from everywhere and does nothing about it. You need to be a little bit smarter. Like if you look at the shooting percentages, there are lots shot attempts. But anyways, like I'm saying, the thing is we don't have any depth in our defense. We never developed that. We never got the prospects for that. We would trade away prospects to get Muzzin, I loved Muzzin. He was truly a first pair defenseman.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with that trade.
No, but the thing is,
trade, there was nothing wrong
but
with.
But he was already had a long injury history, and we were not at that point.
No. Look, that one I will disagree with. Whatever he dealt with here in Toronto was different than he had anywhere else. And to be fair to the organization, because I will agree with you, like the Foligno stuff, the ROR, like any of those ones, I will give you the credit. I'm not going to fight you on the fact that like those guys were older and or a little bit slower and were dealing with some injury stuff. Like I'm not going to fight you with that. The Muzzin one, I'm not.
I love Muzzin, but
I'm not saying you don't love Muzzin. I'm saying the injury thing, I'm not going to agree with on this one. Because the Muzzin one was like a freak stuff that happened here that was like unpredictable. Like that was freak shit that happened that was not predictable. I don't want to.
Listen, I'm not putting any blame on Muzzin. I'm not saying I hated the trade. I'm saying we need to bring players around him and draft around him and have people coming up to support him, support Riley, support whoever we had, right? What we did was none of that, right? I loved Muzzin. I still do. I wish he was on our team. Well, he is. He's coaching, but like, you know what I mean? So and like a lot of people said Dubas never got defense. He got Giordano, he got Brody, he got whatever. He got basically whatever, whoever's scoring for our team is basically here, except for Oyel and Tanev, who are the other good players. But like, Cowan was a pick of his, whatever. So like, but the thing is, I'm saying we need to overall. There's no accountability. Nylander's always the one being picked on. Before it was Kadri, right? We don't have any accountability for Matthews. We never had it for Marner. Like, why did Keefe have to apologize? Because because either Shanahan or Marner's parents or whoever the fuck.
Yep.
Like, listen, I want accountability. Sit the fuckers down. Sit Riley down. Sit Matthews down.
You know what's going to sound insane, Prague? There's part of me, small part of me, that wants, like, this is going to sound nuts. And I'm well aware this sounds nuts, and I'm not trying to say this is logical. There's a small part of me that wants John Tortorella to come here to, like, smack these guys upside the head a little bit. I don't know if anybody saw on the broadcast tonight, Tortorella was doing the Sabres Flyers game. And John Tortorella, so you'll see this. John Tortorella is strongly linked right now to Buffalo. Yarmo coming in. Yarmo and Tortorella have connections. And basically what they're saying, like, is needed in Buffalo because they haven't had this is somebody who could, like, whip them into shape and make Dahlin and Tage and these guys get back into line here and start heading in the right direction before they bring in the coach to push them over the edge. Because right now they are kind of a group that's just lost. They're swimming with nothing going on. They have no identity, nothing in that room. So Torts is the guy linked. Torts on the broadcast tore a strip off of Tage Thompson in between the first and the second period. And everybody in Buffalo online was like, this is what you need. I kind of want Torts to come here, not because I think he's an unbelievable coach or something, but because I think that these guys, which would be really interesting because it's like trying to teach an old dog new tricks. He'd come in here and he would just kind of fucking backhand these guys around a little bit and not give a shit what the public repercussion was, not give a shit what the repercussion was from the agents, nothing. Oh, Austin Matthews, you don't want to do this? Sit. William Nylander, you don't want to do this? Sit. Morgan Riley, you don't want to do this? Sit. I think John Tortorella would sit them. He would sit them.
Other than Line, name a player he's sat that's of Matthews' level.
Well, where has he been that's had those types of players? Like, he did it with him.
Tampa.
He did it with Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Tampa, New York Rangers. He didn't sit nobody.
You've never heard the story of what John Tortorella did? I would guarantee.
Maybe New York Rangers, but not in Tampa.
I would guarantee he sat guys when he was there as well. And also, have you never heard the story of when he was on the bus and made them drive around New York City when he was with the Lightning the year they won the Stanley Cup? Have you never heard that? They went into like Long Island the night before. They shit the bed. The next morning, Torts made them all put their gear on, get on the bus. They sat on the bus, and he made the bus driver drive around New York City for 3 hours. He never said a word to a single guy on the bus. They sat there with all their gear on, and then they pulled back at the arena. He stood up at the front of the bus, and he said, "You wasted 3 hours of my time last night, so I just wasted 3 hours of your time this morning." And he walked off the bus. It's more so just a point of he'd go in there and he'd fucking give these guys a shake up, and I think that they might sit there and go, oh shit. And by the way, everybody in the chat pointing out, he sat Vinny Lecavalier.
Great. So he's going to sit Nylander. Wonderful.
Well, I don't think he would give a fuck if it's Nylander or Matthews or Riley
what if he
or
won
whatever.
In 21 years?
I'm not saying he's going to win, Prague. I'm not saying it's logical. Move off the point. My whole point was you just said you wanted accountability. I said there's a guy that I know of that I think would bring accountability.
As accountability. Like, half the thing is last year we went from possession team to, like, we were still on the tail end of having possession. And then, yes, we got better defense. Great. But now where are they? Where's our defense? What are we?
I don't. It's everybody. It's everybody buying into defense. It's everybody not having any interest in doing it.
If you're getting caved in, and then you play against a team like, let's say, Washington now, this year. Last year, they were just a mirage. They played well. They had young players. They're great. And they're chasing a record. Great. But now they actually have a lot of good young players. You know, you've heard of Alexi Protas, right? Have you heard of Cole? You've heard of Lane Hudson. Have you heard of Cole Hudson, who's considered just as good? Have you heard about
not considered just as good, but yeah, anyways.
Ilya Protas, 2 second-round picks. Same year we got, I think that's the same year as we got Cowan. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm saying they had picks. They went down for 1 year. They got Ryan Leonard, who runs his own fucking line, basically, at this point. He's what, 20?
Not really.
But
he doesn't.
How
run
many
his own
points does he have?
I don't know. I have to look, but he doesn't run his own line.
No, but I'm saying like he's basically able to do a lot on that like he's basically able to push a line basically because he's scored goals. He's done things where the team was down to help them out. However,
he has 18 points in 29 games.
Oh, I'm really sorry. And how many minutes is he playing?
I don't know what his average time on ice is, Prague.
But anyway, so like my point is, they traded away only 1 year in the last 6 years. They traded away their first round pick. It was a bad year, and then they took a year where they didn't make the playoffs. They traded for Sandin, but they still picked I think number 8 or 9 with Ryan Leonard. And ever since then, they've picked lots of players. They've had a lot of picks, and they have nothing but lots of depth coming in. So when Ovi retires, when any Carlson retires, we don't have a John Carlson. Who's our John Carlson? Like, name any of these players that they picked. Who's our Chikrin? I'm saying we have nothing, and we have not even tried the players that we had. That's why they don't sign with us, dude. Who just signed for 4 years at 1.25 million? Okay, listen, you know what? We have a fourth rounder who plays our net. Fuck him. You want to say, don't play him. We should trade for somebody. Let's bring in Primo. Let's just sit him. Fuck Hildeby, right? Why? Because he's a fourth rounder that the Leafs picked? No, because I'm saying if you don't play the players, you don't know what you have. We've had
He played tonight, Prague. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying, how many fourth rounders, how many third rounders, how many second rounders, how many first, how many players that we don't, okay, who's leading in goals and points generally out of the three? One was undrafted, 2 were Leaf picks in the first 2 rounds this year as rookies.
I don't even know what question you're at. I don't know what you're asking.
I'm asking, out of the 3 Leaf rookies who are not playing, only 2 are playing, 1 is playing on the Leafs, who's getting more points per minute? Who's getting more points? Who's getting more goals, actually? Let's just say goals.
Dude, I still don't know what you're asking me.
No, I'm saying we never played Minton. We were looking for 3C. He's playing 3C hard matchup minutes. And even every broadcast, everybody on the team thinks he's going to be the future captain.
Why did we trade for Glotton? Anybody
a 4C.
say that, but sure.
Well, I've watched a bunch of their games, man.
I just don't know anybody who's saying that. I don't know. I've not seen anybody who's going out there and saying
they're saying it every single fucking broadcast. But okay, Steve's has 6 goals and 3 assists. Oh, and he's playing 12 and a half minutes. Wonderful. And he's played 18 games. His first season, he was the leader in AHL rookie scoring. Then I think the season after he got like 60 points or 70. I don't know, whatever he got, point per game, whatever it was. Right now, we have other players that we could bring up. Last year, we could have brought up somebody.
Okay, but
I'm saying instead of trading for all these older players who are like great in the room, I'm wonderful. I'm happy that Lawton's great in the room. But right now, if people are willing to trade for him, we need to tank, retool for this year, retool for the long term. Don't give up our fucking prospects for fucking shit. And listen, get rid of Riley, get rid of Benoit, right? Get rid of like the thing is, you want to keep them? What's the point? What are we going to do? Riley's been here for every Game 7, this catastrophe.
Yeah.
Right? So what's Benoit, what is he doing? He's great. He's great in the playoffs. Wonderful. What does he do? Nothing. I'd rather keep younger players or players who have some upside than play with these other people.
Yeah, where I just think you have to come to grips here is we're talking about trading for players that make your team better now. Like those kids, when you trade them, or the prospects or the picks, when you trade them, yes, in hindsight, some of these didn't work out and the team didn't win. But like if the team does win a couple of rounds, if they go to a conference finals, if they go to a cup finals, nobody looks at those picks and complains about them at all. Yes, the Fraser Minten one is bad. It's going to go down poorly, but like Fraser Minten, like you,
Anton Strawman.
Oh my God, dude.
2006 was the last year we had a good draft. Dude, I'm saying
you're talking about like Tuukka Rask trade Prague. Like this is like I cannot like what are you like I just who cares, like, man? We're talking about now.
I'm talking about players like Villeneuve. We have Matt Benning. Or Mike, whatever.
Dude, in all honesty, I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about. You're just like saying names and saying shit. I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
I'm trying to say
like,
that
I get what you're saying about like, yeah, Easton Cowan is like Fraser Minten, is like a tough one. Like, yes, but like you just came on here and you spoke about this guy like he was fucking Jesus touching the ice. Like Fraser Minten has 12 points right now and 6 goals.
4C or 3C?
Honestly, I think it was to play 3C, and I don't know what the fuck happened last year, to be honest with you. I think it was to play 3C. But the point is,
Brandon Carlo was playing, I think, 6th. I think he was 5th or 6th on his team and hadn't played top pair minutes since 2022 because of concussions.
No, so, he was not playing 5th or 6th, but he was in the top 4 in Boston. He was in the top 4 in Boston. And everybody here thought that was a great guy to get. It was far too expensive to pay up. Like, and again, like the trade wise, like I have no problem like talking about that trade and saying it was a bad trade in terms of what you gave up. It was far too expensive. It was bad. Well, like what my problem is, you're coming here now and like you're like comparing all these guys and these pieces and like talking about like you're those trades you're making because you think you have a really good team. You won the Atlantic Division, Prague. Like you're looking at your team being like, we're really good. We can go and make a run of this. We can push chips in. We need to get better on defense. You go out and get Brandon Carlo. Yeah, you paid too much. But like again, like you're trying to make the team better in the moment. Fraser Minten doesn't help you win the Stanley Cup last year. That's what you think you're going to do. He also doesn't help you win the Stanley Cup this year. That's what you think, or last year when you made the trade, thought that you were going to be pushing to do. He doesn't help you do that. Like you're looking to fill a hole that Brandon Carlo fills. Yes, it hasn't worked out the same way that we thought it would. Injuries have obviously played a factor. He probably also got sewered by his partner by playing with Morgan Riley, but like, you go and fill a need because you think you're trying to make a push. Like that is where I give the team credit is like you made an effort to trade and improve the team in the moment. Where I do have problems is like, yeah, Fraser Minten in the Brandon Carlo deal and a 1st round pick, it's a bad deal and it's going to come back and haunt the team. But like, especially it's also like everyone take a fucking pump the brakes. Fraser Minten has played 36 games this season and he has 12 points. Like he's not like lighting the world on fire. So like I get it. I also don't love it, but like let's calm down here for a second.
No. Okay. We needed a 3C. He's playing 3C. He's playing on a team that nobody.
But he's not a 3C last year. And I love Fraser Minten, but he's not what Scott Laughton is. Like he's just not what Scott Laughton is right now. He could be what Scott Laughton is in 4 or 5 years, but he's not the impact that Scott Laughton is right now. And I know people aren't in love with him.
Because he's a 3C who actually has points and goals.
I just said what he has. He has 12 points. Dakota Joshua has as many goals as him.
Dude, can I finish what I'm saying? I'm saying instead of going for like all these things that we think, right? Like I never liked the trades last year. You could probably find it on.
But you're talking about in hindsight. You're doing this in hindsight. You're doing revisionist history.
You're saying, okay, no. I'm not saying any revisionist history. I'm saying you don't like when you don't give your own players a chance. What happens? Like when you don't give, like we get Mason Marchment, Trevor Moore, who had 31 goals. Nobody talks about him. Like we trade away or don't use the players that we get. Right? We think, these fun, wonderful things in the sides. But I'm saying right now, I want them to tank. They need to trade most of their defense, because this time, like I'm so done with this because I want to see results, and I want to see that we always have somebody coming in. If there's somebody's injured, we're not trading away the fucking farm for some guy who's 32 and going like. I don't want Rasmus Anderson. I don't want fucking Alex Tuck. I don't want to reward players for doing shit. Like last year, we were getting caved in. And everybody's like, "Oh, this is wonderful." I'm like, dude, we can't move the fucking puck. We got caved in, and our scoring was great. But the thing is, like, what I knew what was going to happen. I told this to my best friends. I said this is what's going to happen. We watched every fucking game in the playoffs.
You're the LeBron James of hockey analysis. You're the
Dude,
LeBron
I'm not
James.
saying I'm LeBron James.
You're LeBron James.
the one
You're
who
LeBron
says,
James.
follow-
No. You're LeBron James when he said that he knew Kobe was going to score 81 points. That's what you are. That you tell everyone after the fact that you knew all these things. I knew that this was. I knew that they were going to not. They weren't going to do well. They made it to the second round in Game 7 against Florida. Like,
great. Game 7. Dude, how many goals did they get after the second period of Game 3?
Nice, Prague. Very, very pinpoint accurate on picking your spot in where it worked out well. They got blown out.
They gave up
2
18
games.
goals and got 6, I think.
In 2 games, they gave up a fuck ton of goals. Like again, like you're cherry
But
picking.
those games don't matter, right? Because we won the cup.
Oh my God, Prague. Those games had nothing to do with them getting caved. Go back in and watch the games. They got caved, but those games, they just quit. They didn't show up. They didn't play hockey. Yeah, because they didn't fucking show up, Prague. Like, you are so numb. You are so dense in your fucking skull sometimes when it comes to this shit. Like, you talking about this right now, you're like, oh, it's because of the fucking analytics. Like, are you stupid, bro? You know what your fucking numbers said against Chicago on Tuesday night? Do you know what they said? They said the Leafs deserve to win. That's how good your fucking numbers are, bro. That's how good your fucking analytics are. Those are the ones that you're fucking jerking off to at night, being like, look how good my numbers are. Look how good my numbers are. Look at my expected goals. Fuck your expected goals. Fuck your expected goals. The actual goals won the Atlantic Division. The actual goals went to the second round. So fuck your numbers. Fuck your numbers, Prague. Fuck your numbers. You're fucking talking about Fraser Minton this, Easton Cowan that. Fraser Minton has played 10 more games than Easton Cowan, who you're here talking about, let your players play. Let your players play. Are you fucking high? The guy has 10 points, 2 less than Fraser Minton. And let your players play. Let your players play. Oh, let your players play. That's all you fucking talk about. That's all you talk about. And then you fucking come here. Oh, Fraser Minton, you should have let him play. You should have let him play. You're out. You're done. Call's done. That's why you get fucking suspended. Call's done. That's enough. That's fucking absurd. There's not 1 point made. Not 1 point made. Holy shit. Like, what are we talking about? This guy might be sussied. That might be a sussy. That might be cops outside for Prague. Like, again, the team finally gets to a point where it's playing like the right way. And we're like, I knew it was not going to work. Yeah, you're a hero. You looked in your fucking crystal ball. Oh, man. I think analytics are good too. I think analytics are good too. I think they're good to use. But then you're coming here and we're talking about shot attempts. Shot attempts tell you that your team is good. Shot attempts. No, 6 1/3. Fuck your manners. Fuck your manners. Aiden on the line. Aiden, what's up?
What up, buddy?
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. I couldn't do it anymore with Prague, so we had to get him off the line.
Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what he's talking about. His analytics. I hate these guys all over Twitter with their charts and all that. Just look at how they're playing, and look at that and tell me a chart's gonna fix it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get what he was talking about there, to be honest with you.
Look, analytics can tell you a lot, but to solely rely on them about what's happening, I think is a little bit ridiculous. Like, if you watched the team last year, there were areas that you looked at and were probably like, this isn't the best. We should improve on this. They won the Atlantic Division. They rolled Ottawa. And then they went into the series against Florida. Should have won, but they did their patented give up in Game 5 and patented give up in Game 7. And I'm sorry, Aiden, but like those Game 5s and Game 7s, it was the same thing that they had done in years past when they were under Sheldon Keefe, when they were under Kyle Dubas, when they were under whoever the fuck we want to refer to. They did the same thing under all of those guys. The analytics are helpful in determining some stuff, but you can't look at them and be like, this is the sole guiding star about what's good and bad. That's where I start to lose my mind. And to come on here and be like, I looked at their shot attempts and I knew they were going to be bad. Fuck you. Like, that's where it's just, you lose me.
Exactly. And even like, I think in that Florida series, that Game 3 gets so overlooked. They're up 2 goals. Second period, Morgan Riley has 2 own goals.
Thank you.
Like, and then again, like, people criticize Brad Treliving. You know, the Lawton trade, I thought the Lorenz Lawton, Yarn Croak line, they didn't score, but they were a good line last year. They were a good line. They were a little unlucky. Yeah, that Lawton trade wasn't so good, but at the time, you have to make it. We've never seen them win a division other than the North when it was the North Division back in the COVID year. So you look at it like, we can go on a run here. Everybody thought Florida and Tampa was going to be a dogfight. Like, if the Leafs won the division, everybody's like, Tampa and Florida, it's going to be a dogfight. So, you know, I get the moves Treliving made. The Carlo one, yeah, like, maybe you just trade Fraser Minton and maybe not a first, maybe another pick. That trade, it's not good. But at the time, you needed a right D. You need someone to play with Morgan Riley. He was probably one of the best right D guys that were available at the deadline last year, to be honest with you. You know, like, don't you remember those years when Carlo was shutting us down in the playoffs with Boston? Like,
yeah,
exactly. Like, and he comes in. Morgan Riley, though, I don't know, and like, I don't know about Morgan Riley. I know he cut some pounds this year, but he looks the same out there, to be honest with you. And
yeah,
you know?
Yes, he does. Look, I'll jump in here, Aiden, for a second. The one thing I'd say is, go back and look. Everybody looked at that Carlo trade and was like, this is the kind of guy you want to be getting. This is the kind of guy you want in here. This is the kind of guy you want on your team and part of the defensive core and helping this group out. And I still believe getting the player was the right idea. But the trade is just expensive. And, like, I don't have any problem admitting that. Like, Fraser Minton in a first, it's expensive. But Brandon Carlo is the kind of guy that you look at and you think he's going to help us. He's going to, if he plays that game that he plays in Boston, he plays that here in Toronto, he's going to be a piece that can push you to that next level or help you get to that next level. Like, I have no problem acquiring the player. The trade itself, yeah, expensive. Didn't work, doesn't work out. But, yeah, 100%.
Exactly. At the time, you needed to make it, and then you saw Florida making their moves, and Tampa was making their moves. I mean, like, they were gonna, if they didn't trade for Carlo, this is what I don't understand about people. People would then complain that, oh, Connor Timmins is in the playoff lineup, Phil Myers and Benoit, right? 2 of 3 of those guys would be in the playoff lineup if they never traded for Brandon Carlo. So these same people now are saying Brad Treliving overpaid for Brandon Carlo. They would be the ones complaining if those 2 guys were in the lineup come playoff time last year. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think they go that far with the Connor Timmins on the right D last year, to be honest with you. So I see why they did it for Carlo. Like they had what Tanev, Carlo, and OEL on the right side last year going into the playoffs. Like it's a pretty solid right-handed side, and I think Treliving takes a lot of crap for that trade because it's expensive, but if you want a right D, which is rare on its own, he's what 6'4". He's a big guy, long stick. Like he's what you want in a defenseman, and he's right-handed.
Right-handed.
So it's gonna come in. It's gonna be expensive. You know what I mean? And I thought he was playing injured early this year too. Like I don't know what game it was, but he blocked 2 shots trying to defend a lead late. And then that's when he kind of missed time. He started missing practice.
Yeah.
Let's hopefully after the surgery, he could go back to his Boston self. And I think he's a good player, So
I think he is too. I think he is too. I think I think Carlo could be a piece that could figure it out. And if he can kind of stabilize, and like, that's a thing. People forget he wasn't bad last year. He just wasn't like unbelievable in the playoffs. And I think Morgan Rielly playing alongside of him didn't help him. I don't think that calmed anything down for him at all. Like imagine if Brandon Carlo plays with this year's version of OEL. Like I imagine both of their games become it helps benefit both of them kind of thing. And the other point is I think that he was hurt. And it seemed because I'll give him that. I feel like he might have been playing hurt after early in the season, and then it just got worse after that. You pointed it out, the shot blocks. I think that probably tanked him, and then hopefully, I'm with you. Hopefully he comes back and he's in better shape and can get back to where he was at with his Boston days.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at the play right now, like I think a lot of people are saying Berube lost the room and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know, maybe it's just a delusion, but I just don't see them missing the playoffs. Like, I see them still, like, the East is still tight, right? Like, maybe I'm delusional. I don't know. You can tell me, but I just don't see them missing the playoffs. Like, I feel like they would have to figure it out soon. Like, they're not a bad team. It's just, I don't know what's happening right now. Is it the coach? Is it the players? Like, what do you, like, I don't know,
Well, if they play the way that they did tonight, no shot they're making the playoffs. Yeah. I think it's a combination of everything. I think that injuries are really hurting. People are forgetting that Chris Tanev is not here playing at all, which I think really hurts this team. That's a lot of minutes being taken up by a big impactful player on your right side who plays on the penalty kill. He plays late game. He can move the puck well. Like, we're talking about this team struggling to break pucks out, move pucks up the ice. There's another one in Tanev. There's another one and a guy who can help you do those things and isn't here. Brandon Carlo, another right-handed guy who's not here. I don't know. Like, it's there are pieces that are missing. You missed Knies, you missed Matthews, you missed Nylander for periods. I think JT went out at some point. Like there is a lot that was going on. I think maybe the team doesn't want to buy in fully to the style. I think that there's a lack of buy-in from this group when it comes to playing that style of hockey. I don't know that they fully want to commit. I just don't know how you don't look at what happened last season. I don't know how you look at going to the second round and winning the Atlantic Division and having that success and be like, actually, I don't want to play this way. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, but it definitely feels and looks like there is... It feels like there's a quit in the coach that has taken place.
Yeah, and even tonight, that quote that he put out, or that quote that he said about go ask the guys in the room, like, you can tell, like, I think even Berube, he's like, what the fuck's happening? Like, I don't even know what the fuck's happening anymore, to be honest. And it's like, I don't know what's up with them, to be honest. I don't know. It looks like also they just don't give a shit, to be honest. Like, tonight it just looked like they gave zero shits that Washington was dominating them all fucking night. Like, from the puck drop to the end of the third period. Like, Washington's on them the whole game. And it's like, you guys don't give any shits at all. Like, even on the power play, I don't even want to get into the power play because I'll go off. But it's like the power play is brutal. I don't know, like, Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty awful right now on Leafland.
It's atrocious. It's atrocious, Aiden. The power play is something else. Is there anything else you got here? I'm going to let you go before I get to my
That
final
was it.
segment and wrap up the show here tonight. We've been at this thing for over 3 hours tonight. So, Aiden, anything else you got for me?
No, that's everything, though. Thank you for having me, eh?
Thanks for coming on, man. You're welcome back anytime. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.
There you go. Aiden on the post game. All right, final segment before we get to play the game. Or there's no play of the game tonight. Let's just call it what it is. The final segment before we get to our grade of the game to close this thing out. Let's go to Crave the Stats. Crave the Stats is a presentation of our friends at Uber Eats. Again, thanks to Uber Eats for being part of the show here tonight. Uber Eats is enabling fans to maximize their fandom all season long with exclusive game day deals on the app, from game day eats to paper plates and napkins if you're hosting, to all the ingredients you need to make your favorite game day dip. Every time the Leafs are playing at home, you can get these exclusive deals in Toronto only on Uber Eats. Firehouse subs, the BOGO brisket hat trick, Kibo sushi, BOGO California roll, Shelby shawarma, BOGO traditional wrap. BOGO, of course, is buy one, get one before, during, and after the game. Uber Eats is assisting every fan's hockey experience all season long. Stats of the day. I'm just going to take a look at the box score in this one, and I'm just going to read you guys out some astonishing numbers from tonight's game. Austin Matthews, 0 goals, 0 assists, -1, 1 shot on goal, 0 block shots, 0 penalties, 0 penalty minutes, 1 hit, 0 takeaways, 0 giveaways. Matthews played 8 minutes and 1 second of time on ice. Oh, wait. Sorry. The screen just kicked back. Matthews played 19 minutes and 45 seconds. He was a -3. I don't know how it just kicked to the first period there. It opened up and it went to the first period. Let's see what else we got. Lawton as 6 1/3, demanding Lawton's stats. 0 goals, 0 assists, -1, 1 shot on goal, 1 penalty, 2 penalty minutes, a hit, a takeaway, 3 giveaways, 13 minutes of time on ice. Matthew Knies, 0 goals, 0 assists, -1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1 hit, 0, 0, 20 minutes. Dakota Joshua, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 penalty minutes, 2 hits, 1 takeaway, 1 giveaway, 10 minutes of ice time. Nylander, 0 goals, 0 assists, -2, 1 shot on goal. Like, Nick Robertson has 6 shots on goal, Austin Matthews 2, Nylander 1. Unreal. This is pathetic. Power play, 0 for 5. The team finished with 22 shots on goal. Yeah, this is a bad night for this team. See, this is where it gets funny, especially at this point in the show. You can kind of weed out the morons from, like, the people who have an idea. Pretty much everyone on this Leafs team was a minus something. And, like, people are victory lapping that Scott Lawton was a -1 tonight. And I want to know, like, there's people being like, Zach lost the argument to Prague. I don't think Prague said anything that was coherent. Like, I still don't even know what he was talking about in the entire conversation that he had here on the show. I don't think anything he said made sense at any point in time. And then all of a sudden he's talking about they got caved all of last year, and then says they played terribly on Tuesday against Chicago or whatever. And then all of a sudden is like, but then the numbers said that they played good. So what is it that you're talking about? And then just keeps going to, like, but my point is, like, there is no point. You have no point. You're going nowhere. You're talking about the Raycroft trade. Like, I just don't know where we're going. super chats that we have here to close out the show tonight. And I want you guys to send in your grades in the chat. Also, genuinely here, people saying he had a point, you just can't follow him. What was the point then? What is the point? Tell me. What is the point? What was his point? If he made so much sense, what was the point he was making? I'd love to know. Because I don't think anyone else in the chat knew. But super chats that are coming in here. J-Rock, I'll keep donating for sick kids, but if you make a Patreon, I'll donate for your therapy sessions. With respect, sir. Get a good night's sleep. Thank you, J-Rock. West TX Tweaker, I appreciate your poise, Zach. Well, thanks. I seem to have lost it there. Maxentius Decimus, Absolute Cinema. Thanks, Maxentius. Appreciate that. And then there you go. Dyslexic, last year the Gioli's made us look better. There you go. 6 1/3, it's your insecurity. Yes. Prague saying that the players that were here who need to play, but the guys that are here shouldn't play, makes a lot of sense. Fraser Minton should have played while he was here. Easton Cowan needs to go to the AHL. Easton Cowan, with 10 less games and 2 less points, needs to go to the AHL. Made sense. Makes sense. All right. Let's get your grades of the game. I want to see what you guys are thinking about in this chat. Send in your grades. I want to see what you guys think. I want to know how you feel about this one. My grade is a flat out F. I don't know how you get above an F in this. You were terrible from start to finish. Your power play stunk. There was no response. There was no bounce back in this. There was no engagement. There was no intensity. There was no give a fuck. There was no emotion from these guys. Just start to finish. This is a pure failure of a game. You had to show up. You had to have an effort, and you just didn't. That is a pure failure. Unacceptable. In every sense. Okay. That's it for me. I'm done for the postgame tonight. 3.5 hours. Still 3.5 hours in, 435 people watching. Just to recap tonight's show, by the way. 70 new subscribers. We hit 20,000. We have over 419 likes. We have over 400 likes. We have 419 likes. We had over $1,000 donated. Proceeds from our super chats go to Sick Kids Charity. Like the fact that you guys stuck in here, I think we had 17 calls on the post game. Rosie jumped on. You guys stuck here from the very beginning. This was a heater of a show. It was a long show. It's an exhausting show. But I can't thank you guys enough. I cannot thank you guys enough. Appreciate you. I will be back. I will be back on Saturday. Saturday and Sunday to break down what happened. Game previews. Post-game shows. Calls. Best bets. All of it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. There will be no apology to Prague. World's worst gamer. Dude, if you appreciated Leafs fans, you would give the shout out to my dad. Shout out to your dad. Shout out to your dad. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate everyone. We'll see you guys on Saturday. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.